Douluo, the sacred dragon staff. Hey! Look who's back for more adventures. We love having you here to continue this story that keeps us all awake. Important note, all of this is pure fiction, so don't try any techniques you hear here in real life. Your neighbor might call the cops. This amazing novel and all its rights belong to the original author. We're just the ones giving it voice and drama. Are you enjoying the show? Prove it by subscribing to our YouTube channel and leaving that like that motivates us so much. And if you want VIP access to exclusive content, our Patreon is waiting with things you won't find anywhere else. Chapter 151, Killing Two Beast Kings. Roar. Second brother, hurry up and leave. I'll cover your rear, the azure bull python roared, using its body to block the titan ape. This time, they were careless, having failed to anticipate the strength of the incoming humans. They had sensed only a strong aura, but not one stronger than their own. Their instinctive perception of auras had put them in danger. This was part of Li Yusong's plan. He had Douluo use the breath-retaining grass to refine several aura-hiding pills. They didn't need to conceal their auras too much, they simply needed to make the title Douluo's auras roughly that of Soul Douluo, thus catching them off guard. Unexpectedly, these two foolish soul beasts charged headfirst. Who could blame them for being beaten so badly? Yes, we humans are just that cunning. We fight with both strength and brains. We're not beasts driven solely by instinct. What's the point of having brains? No, big brother, if we go together. If we die together. If all else fails, we'll drag them along and blow themselves up. The titan ape refused to be a coward, it was determined to live and die with its big brother. I hope Sister Xiao Wu is doing well in the human world. The azure bull python looked up at the sky, where the shadow of a beautiful girl flickered. A moment later, the titan ape and azure bull python's gazes were firm, and their aura surged. They were ready for a desperate attack. Be careful, they're going to attack, King Li Yusong roared. All the title Douluos were on full alert. Only Douluo remained calm. The titan ape and azure bull python's auras surged, but when they reached a certain point, they suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood. The blood was surprisingly black, with a rainbow of colors within it. Their auras were then weakened. Haha, the time has finally come. Everyone, the poison has penetrated the bones. It's time to launch the next round of attacks. The two beasts have formidable defenses and vitality, so they need to be nearly dead. Xiachen and Yanayan, get ready, Douluo suddenly spoke. His composure stemmed from having already poisoned them from the outset. It was his strongest 7th layer mixed poison, but Douluo had added a few more ingredients to his 7th layer mixed poison. He had used poisonous herbs from the yin-yang eyes of ice and fire to create a poisonous powder, which was then mixed into his 7th layer mixed poison. This produced a powerful debilitating toxin, significantly increasing the potency of the weakening, paralyzing, and corrosive toxins. This was a new toxin Douluo had recently developed, but its onset was very demanding. The opponent must exert their full strength for its full effect. When the opponent exerts their full soul power, the toxin enters the body along with the rapidly flowing soul power, accelerating the poisoning. This was why, even as the two beasts' auras surged, the other title Douluos were on high alert, while Douluo remained calm and composed. Douluo had already made thorough preparations to hunt these two soul beasts. This time, he had mixed the poison with petals of the immortal herb Blood Swan Kiss, which multiplied the toxin. The bodies of 100,000-year-old soul beasts were incredibly powerful, and the Blood Swan Kiss was the only way to fully inflict the poison. However, Douluo was reluctant to use all of it, using only the smallest petal. The Blood Swan Kiss would be of great use to him later, potentially accelerating his cultivation to level 99th. This was his ultimate path, and he was reluctant to waste it all. Hearing Douluo's command, the title Douluo began to activate their 9th soul abilities. 9th soul skill, Long Chant of the Azure Luan in the eastern suburbs. 9th soul skill, Light Wings Ice God Break. 9th soul skill, Attain Bodhi. 9th soul skill, Fairy All Beings. 9th soul skill, Dark Criticality, Demonic Dragon Destroys the World. 9th soul skill, Spatial Slicing Hurricane Tearing Slash. The 9th soul skills of the 6 Super Douluos simultaneously struck the Titan Giant Ape and the Azure Bull Python. The two Beast Kings, already severely injured and poisoned, were further devastated by the powerful attacks. Yanzi, it's time to prepare. Let's go and unleash her strongest attack, Li Yusong said to Douluo, who understood. 7th soul skill, Martial soul true body, X2 two red spirit rings shone, and the two entered their respective martial soul true body realms. Killing God realm, only then did Li Yusong remember that he still had the killing God realm to use. He didn't want to forget it after so long. Azure Dragon Domain, Du Yuyan felt the amplification of the God of Death domain, and her lips curled slightly. She also released the Emerald Green domain. Within the domain, all friendly dragon-type spirit masters received a 20% boost in all attributes, while enemy dragon-type spirit masters or spirit beasts were suppressed by 30%. Li Yusong looked at the emerald gold azure dragon beside him. Du Yuyan had transformed into golden azure dragon, a true eastern azure dragon, remarkably noble yet commanding. Li Yusong, in contrast, was quite ordinary. His martial spirit emanated an astonishing aura. From Li Yusong's perspective, he seemed to have reached Super Saiyan status, with all attributes increased by 200%, unlimited uses of all spirit skills, and doubled power. Li Yusong was incredibly powerful in this state, even capable of magnifying Optimus Prime to smash into people. The latest novel is now available on the 6th-9th book forum. At this moment, Li Yusong's second and third spirit rings were merging. His water and fire spirit rings began to fuse, a powerful attack Li Yusong could unleash. Li Yusong believed his water-fire fusion attack was no less powerful than 100,000-year spirit ring. Unfortunately, his current fusion could only reach the 10,000-year level. Perhaps in the future, he could even try fusing 200,000-year spirit rings, which would be even more powerful. Water and fire are in harmony, but water and fire are not yet in harmony. Water and fire merge, forming the two opposites. Yin and yang, water and fire, are merciless. The Optimus Prime in Li Yusong's hand emanated streams of fire and water from each end, extending from each end to the shaft. Water and fire, two incompatible elements, began to fuse, emitting a breathtaking force. The other titled Douluo were also shocked by this move. Could water and fire be used in this way? Li Yusong hurled the Optimus Prime, striking the Titan Ape on the head. Boom! The Titan Ape's head exploded. A healthy Titan Ape would have been merely injured by this attack, and even if its defenses failed, it could have dodged it. But now, severely wounded and near death, it had no chance of resistance. Its survival was a testament to its tenacious vitality. The Titan Ape's head exploded, and a crimson spirit ring emerged from its corpse, announcing the death of the Forest King. The Titan Ape, the king of the forest, fell. Second brother, the Azure Bull Python roared in agony. I want you all. Before the Azure Bull Python could finish its words, a cyan figure pierced through its skull, leaving a gaping hole in its skull. Du Yuyan had gathered her strength, using her martial spirit's true form to weaken the Azure Bull Python, then channeled her spirit power into the Azure Dragon Claw, delivering a single strike that would kill the Azure Bull Python. The Azure Bull Python's massive body collapsed, and a crimson spirit ring emerged. The Azure Bull Python, the Emperor of the Forest, fell. Chapter 152 Contra. Li Yusong also saw Du Yuyan complete the kill. He then stood on the Titan Ape's body and used his mental power to probe its spirit bone. A moment later, Li Yusong peeled a drab, earthy brown right arm bone from the Titan's body. This was the right arm bone of a 100,000-year-old Titan Ape. Li Yusong attached the spirit bone to his right arm, then drew the spirit ring and began absorbing it. Du Yuyan also observed Li Yusong's actions, first extracting the Azure Bull Python's spirit bone and then absorbing it. Du Yuyan similarly peeled a right arm bone from the Azure Bull Python, also attaching it to his right arm and drawing the spirit ring to absorb it. These two kids, they're acting like we're trying to steal their spirit bones, King Li Yusong said, his head resting on his hand. Oh my, big blue bird, this is 100,000-year soul bone. You already have a full complement of soul bones, so don't bother. Anyway, I'm a little tempted, but the attributes aren't compatible. I prefer ice-attributed soul bones. I only need one left arm bone to complete my set. I wonder when I'll have them all. Guangling Douluo was an optimist, open-minded, innocent, and playful, but also a very reliable person. Don't tell me I'm really tempted. They're both 100,000-year soul bones that match mine. It's a pity they're both right arm bones, and I can't steal my apprentice's soul bones. It would be so embarrassing. Demon subduing Douluo's eyes lit up as he looked at the soul bones. However, these belonged to his disciple and his wife, so he had to keep his dignity. Qianjin Douluo maintained his composure. He had no desire for soul bones because he already had a right arm bone and couldn't absorb them. But he was more pleased that his disciple had surpassed him, his master. After finishing his work, Long Zhenshin sat down to rest his eyes. Wasn't he craving soul bones? He really wasn't. He wanted soul bones of dark dragon descent. He was still missing a left leg bone, a 50,000-year-old dark dragon attributed one. Long Zhenshin had a bit of obsessive-compulsive disorder, a perfectionist. All 5 of his soul bones were dragon attributed, 3 dropped from his spirit rings, and 2 given by the offering hall, both of which were dark and dragon attributed. Long Zhenshin could have fully stocked with soul bones long ago, but he was a bit picky and insisted on dark dragon attributed ones, which was a real pain. As for Yu Xiansheng, he lay under a tree, a blade of grass in his mouth, looking relaxed. Soul bones were useless to him, he was already fully stocked. None of his soul bones were less than 50,000 years old, and his torso bone was even 100,000 years old, an exceptional achievement. He had a strong chance of reaching the 99th level of ultimate Douluo. He could protect the spirit hall for centuries, and his role was far greater than that of King Li Douluo. Aside from the gifted freaks Bibidong and Jinring Su, Yu Xiansheng's talent could rank among the top 3 of all Spirit Hall's greatest masters, including those of the Seraphim clan. The Angel clan has always disdained to compete for rank with those on the mainland, but there are few who can achieve title Douluo status like Yu Xiansheng at 40. Crucially, he possesses a 100,000-year spirit ring. Those of the God clan typically achieve title Douluo status at 40 or 50, though some exceptional individuals can achieve it at 45. Their innate full spirit power is at level 20, a level of gold. However, due to the high degree of their bloodline, a less gifted spouse of a direct descendant of the Angel clan would diminish the talent of their offspring. For example, Jin Zunji, a useless title Douluo at 50, is considered a formidable figure on the mainland, surpassing Tang Chen, the number 1 title Douluo at 52. Yet, within the Angel clan, he was the weakest. Jin Daoli was far superior, having been granted the title of Douluo at the age of 42. But he disdained comparisons, believing it was a gift from the divine ancestor, a gift he had simply put in. In his 70s, Jin Daolio passed the 7 trials of the Great Worshipper and reached the 99th level of spirit power. He also fathered his son, Jin Zunji, while still in his 70s. His son's talent was modest for the Angel clan, but he harbored a certain pride, leading the spirit hall to hype his cultivation talent, only to be brutally defeated by Tang Hao, a younger generation figure. Furthermore, his character was flawed, as he would do such a shameful thing to his own apprentice. How could Jin Daoliu, a man of integrity throughout his life, have fathered such a son? Yu Xiansheng was the grandson of King Li Daoluo's eldest brother, but King Li Daoluo's brother lacked cultivation talent and remained a sole Daoluo throughout his life. His son's talent was also lacking, and a change occurred with Yu Xiansheng's birth. Yu Xiansheng's spirit possesses the bloodline of the Azure Luan and has also awakened the bloodline of the ultra-fast Emerald Demon Bird, a spirit beast. However, Yu Xiansheng's Emerald Demon Azure Luan has only awakened the Emerald Demon Bird's extreme speed. Furthermore, Yu Xiansheng has possessed exceptional talent since childhood, surpassing even Bibidong's record. Unfortunately, Bibidong possesses twin spirits, both of which are top-tier Spider Emperor spirits, giving her a significant advantage over Yu Xiansheng. Bibidong is the prolific talent promoted by the Spirit Hall, but in reality, Yu Xiansheng, the true trainee of the Worship Hall, is a member of the Azure Luan family. He is a direct descendant of the Spirit Hall, even a pope. Given this background, Yu Xiansheng has long felt that inheriting such wealth is pointless, and he aspires to forge his own path. The Zuanio sect is the sect he founded, known as the gathering place of all avian spirit masters. However, this generation boasts Bibidong and Jinring Su, 2 exceptionally gifted individuals. Furthermore, young Master Jinring Su is destined to attain godhood, leading the spirit hall to its pinnacle. This left Yu Xiansheng lying flat on his back. What else could he do? Just lie down and cultivate my Zuanio sect. Meanwhile, beside the corpses of the 2 beast kings, Li Luochen and Du Yuyan diligently absorbed the 100,000-year spirit rings and spirit bones. Du Yuyan's condition was slightly worse, covered in sweat and flushed, but that was normal. The Azure Bull Python was no ordinary spirit beast, possessing the strength of a 96th level title Douluo. Its spirit power was immense, not even a 90 level title Douluo could absorb it as a spirit ring. However, Du Yuan was different. She had already absorbed 100,000-year spirit ring once before. The latest novel is now available on the 6th book bar. She had a plan for dealing with the soul shock of 100,000-year spirit beast, but the spirit rings and spirit power generated by the azure bull python were too immense, and Du Yuan was still adapting. The azure bull python was far more powerful than the sea demon dragon, its bloodline also surpassing its own. However, Du Yuan's golden azure dragon bloodline suppressed the azure bull python's remnant soul, rendering it powerless. Furthermore, Du Yuan already possessed 300,000-year soul bones, possessing the god-level golden azure dragon martial spirit. Nurturing her foundation with a variety of immortal herbs, her body remained in excellent condition, though she needed time to digest this soul ring. Li Yusong, on the other hand, had it much easier. He only needed his right arm bone to complete a set of soul bones, and his physical fitness was exceptional. Du Yuan and Jin Ringsu had only just realized the depths of Li Yusong's physical strength. The Titan Ape's remnant soul wreaked havoc within Li Yusong's spiritual sea, but unfortunately, it had no effect. The Titan Ape charged recklessly, feeling its strength draining away at an ever-increasing rate. When the Titan Ape was at its weakest, Li Yusong summoned his own spiritual power to extinguish its last remaining stubbornness. At this moment, a scarlet 100,000-year soul ring on Li Yusong's body slowly rotated. The soul ring was successfully absorbed, and the soul bone was also absorbed. Li Yusong opened his eyes and felt the increase in his strength. He officially became a soul Douluo level strong man. Chapter 153 Level 87. Li Yusong sensed his own soul power, which had reached level 87. He hadn't expected the soul power of the divine level golden dragon trunk bone to be so high. A normal level 80 soul Douluo, after absorbing a 100,000-year soul ring and soul bone, would have reached level 84.5. However, Li Yusong had reached level 87, indicating that he had accumulated 2.5 levels of soul power. The soul power of a 2.5 level soul Douluo was far superior to that of a soul sage. Li Yusong released his soul rings: black, 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 red, 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 red. 8 soul rings emerged, 4 black and 4 red. Li Yusong looked at his 6th soul ring, the dark demon evil god tigers, which had also reached the 100,000-year level. Li Yusong's 6th soul ring absorbed the dark demon evil god tiger's natal bead, making it his natal soul ring. Its age would increase as his strength increased. Li Yusong had originally hoped his 6th spirit ring could reach the million-year mark, but it turned out 100,000 years seemed to be its limit. That wasn't a big deal. 100,000 years was enough to scare people off. Li Yusong's spirit ring configuration truly shook up the title Douluo. The priests had seen 8 black and 1 red, but 4 black and 4 red were truly eye-opening. My goodness, disciple. Your spirit ring configuration is truly terrifying. Your 5th spirit ring is already 100,000 years old? But I remember your 5th was 60,000 years old. How did it become like this? The demon subduing Douluo immediately asked the question the title Douluo were about to ask. Of course it's a divine gift. I'm also a divine test inheritor, but I haven't started the test yet. I just need to meet the prerequisites. Li Yusong simply passed it off to the divine test. After all, the divine test was the most acceptable to these worshippers. It could explain everything, so the title Douluo didn't say anything. A divine tester? Perhaps this would make it easier for Xia Auxiliar to walk with him. Li Yusong sensed the changes within himself. He felt that killing a title Douluo would be a piece of cake. His spirit, Optimus Prime, now weighed 50,000 kilograms. The Titan Ape, as expected of a spirit beast excelling in strength, had a truly tremendous increase in power. Li Yusong possessed 2 8th spirit abilities. 1. Earth power, enhanced his control over the earth element. Standing on the ground amplified all his attributes. The other, Titan fall, involved Li Yusong's Optimus Prime hurling itself, growing countless times larger and absorbing countless rocks into a massive stone pillar that fell from the sky. The resulting force was incredibly devastating. Li Yusong felt that this move, combined with the weight of his martial spirit, was enough to devastate many enemies. After all, gravity had to factor in. Just thinking about a falling attack from the sky was terrifying. Li Yusong's Titan Ape right arm bone had the following abilities: Titan Sky Cannon and Gravity Mire. Titan Sky Cannon was a single target ranged attack, while Gravity Mire was a large-scale control skill. Overall, they were quite impressive. Furthermore, Li Luochen felt as if his spirit bones had become one after completing their full complement. He planned to try it out in a deserted area. He speculated that completing his spirit bones would yield a spirit bone fusion technique, and that each would be at least 100,000 year spirit bone level. Just thinking about it was terrifying. Furthermore, Li Luochen could sense that his torso bones connected all his spirit bones: the demon-slaying skull of condensed spirit, the titan ape right arm bone, the dark demon evil god tiger left arm bone, the golden dragon torso bone, the golden ray left leg bone, the blue silver emperor right leg bone, and the dragon wing external attachment spirit bone. The Tyrannosaurus Rex's spine had completely fused with its torso. Li Luochen actually felt a connection between his 7 soul bones, a very close one. The central link was the golden dragon torso bone, and all of them had undergone a transformation due to it. Dragon soul bones had been elevated to the 100,000 year level. The dark demon evil god tiger's left arm bone and the blue silver emperor's right leg bone had both been strengthened. The blue silver emperor's right leg bone had been severed from its former connection to the blue silver emperor. Specifically, even if Tang Hao appeared beside Li Luochen, he wouldn't have been able to sense it. Even if Li Luochen possessed the blue silver emperor's right leg bone, even if he possessed the blue silver emperor's spirit ring, even if the blue silver emperor had been resurrected, she wouldn't have been able to sense her own soul bone. This was because this soul bone was no longer considered blue silver emperor, it had been transformed by the golden dragon's energy. No matter how noble the blue silver emperor was, it was still merely the emperor of the blue silver grass. The golden dragon status was far superior to the blue silver emperor's. The blue silver emperor's right leg bone has now taken the shape of a golden dragon. Its 2 soul abilities have also undergone a transformation. Originally, the blue silver emperor's right leg bone imbued it with immense vitality, but now it's transformed into ki and blood. How should one put it? Gentle energy has become violent. The effect of the skill, wildfire burns, spring breeze blows new life, remains unchanged, but it no longer has a limit on how many times it can be used. It's safe to say that Li Luochen is now difficult to kill by those below the level of a god. However, Li Luochen renamed it Dragon King Nirvana, which is a good move. The skill flight is completely unnecessary. Li Luochen already has the dragon wing soul bone, so it's useless now, replaced by the power of the golden dragon. The new skill, Golden Guardian, offers a similar effect to the invincible golden body, protecting against attacks below the level of a god. It can be used 5 times a day. Li Luochen, feeling his own strength, can now proceed with his next plan, to eliminate Tang Hao, the troublemaker who has been hiding and killing people. Tang Hao has destroyed more than a dozen branch temples over the years, implicating at least tens of thousands of people. Humph! Haoshan Douluo? They were nothing more than scum who dared not attack the strong. The Haoshan sect had always been known for bullying the weak and fearing the strong. With Tang Chen around, anyone in the Spirit Master world who didn't kneel before the Haoshan sect was considered to be looking down on the Haoshan sect. At that time, the Haoshan sect was constantly causing trouble, but no one dared to seek revenge. As soon as Tang Chen disappeared, the Haoshan sect immediately became timid, and they could only swallow their anger at the Spirit Hall's aggressiveness. Haha. It would be best to destroy such a disgusting sect. Moreover, Li Luochen had gained a lot of intelligence during his travels. The Haoshan sect had previously wiped out many weapon Spirit Master families. In order to become stronger, Tang Chen constantly challenged opponents, but those he defeated were either injured or killed. The latest novels are published on the Liujiu 9 book bar. The sect's core strength is gone, and its fate is inevitable. Why do you think the Haoshan sect rivaled the Spirit Hall during Tang Chen's decades? It's because they swallowed up countless accumulated wealth from other families. The Haoshan sect's 3 inherited spirit bones, each over 75,000 years old, were divided between brothers Tang Hao and Tang Xiao. And Tang Hao managed to fully equip them before reaching level 90? I wonder how many spirit beasts the Haoshan sect slaughtered to equip one person. And Li Luochen seems to have learned the method of increasing the chance of spirit bones by slaughtering spirit beasts. The Spirit Hall's members are more Buddhist, never rushing into anything, preferring to bury themselves in intensive cultivation. The Haoshan sect's reckless men are all demons, recklessly practicing and fighting without regard for their lives. Li Luochen is determined to eliminate the Haoshan sect. Tang Hao has harbored murderous intentions against him for a long time, but he's never taken action. As fellow wielders of the killing god domain, how could he, Li Luchen, not sense Tang Hao's murderous aura? Humph. After I get back and finish dealing with things, I'll kill that bastard Tang Hao and give his head to Xia Oxuir. Xia Oxuir will have avenged the person who pretended to kill her father, and she'll probably be very happy. Li Luchen, to win a beautiful woman's smile, Tang Dach will take your head and use it. Chapter 154 Soul Fighter Du Ian. Due to a busy schedule on the 17th, I only wrote one chapter, which I'll post first. I'll try to finish the second chapter on the afternoon of the 18th. My apologies to all my readers. While Li Luchen was daydreaming, Du Yan had also passed a most difficult stage, and the absorption of spirit rings would be smooth sailing from then on. Li Luchen absorbed the spirit rings swiftly, completing them in just one day, while Du Yan took 5. After all, the 100,000-year-old azure bull python was incredibly powerful, and the spirit power generated by its spirit rings was immense. Du Yan absorbed them all, and now her spirit ring configuration is yellow, yellow, purple, black, 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 red, red. Such a powerful spirit ring configuration is truly rare. Li Luchen actually saw some of Moon's and Du Yan's spirit ring configuration, but Du Yan was now far more powerful than him. He also knew that absorbing a 100,000-year-old 7th spirit ring required a 100,000-year-old spirit bone. Du Yan was lucky. By the time she absorbed the 100,000-year-old 7th spirit ring, she already had a 100,000-year-old head spirit bone. One step ahead, always. After absorbing the spirit ring, Du Yan's emanating spirit power reached level 85, having already reached more than half of that level. It seems some of the spirit power from the 100,000-year-old golden crocodile dragon's left leg bone remains within her. Du Yan's combat prowess has likely reached the Super Douluo level, capable of being slain by ordinary tidal Daluos. Learn about the 100,000-year-old spirit's true form and the extremely suitable 100,000-year-old 8th spirit skill. Li Luchen is familiar with Du Yan's spirit bone abilities, Azure Destruction Thunder and Azure Slow Claws, both powerful abilities. Regarding her spirit abilities, Golden Azure Dragon Soul and Golden Azure Dragon Fury. Golden Azure Dragon Soul is a ranged attack, where Du Yan concentrates her spirit power to unleash Azure Dragon Soul, devastating the enemy. Golden Azure Dragon Fury is a melee burst skill, where golden thunder emanates from Du Yan's body, transforming into a giant golden dragon and charging into the enemy. These two skills are truly exceptional, and Du Yan's own spirit, the Golden Azure Dragon, imbues her with exceptional physical strength. She excels at both ranged and melee attacks, making her a perfect defensive type Soul Douluo. Well, the soul hunt in the Star Dou Great Forest has concluded, and everyone has returned home. Meanwhile, far away in Soto City in the Bara Kingdom, Xiao Wu suddenly senses the loss of something important, and tears flow uncontrollably. Xiao Wu, why are you crying? Is the training too strenuous? Tang San immediately notices Xiao Wu's discomfort, comes over to comfort her, and pats her head. Xiao Wu's sadness instantly disappears. It's okay, brother. I just don't know why I feel tears coming down. Maybe some sand got in my eyes. Xiao Wu is fine, brother. Let's continue training. Master said he'll take us to Heaven Dao City in a week. Xiao Wu shook her head, wiped away her tears, and then smiled sweetly, putting her bad mood behind her. She took Tang San's hand and left. Killing him was out of the question. Her little cabbage, far away in Xian Dao City, had been completely devoured. If she killed him, Jin Rinxu would surely fight her to the death, further exacerbating the already strained mother-daughter relationship. Bibi Dong felt a headache. She still wanted to mend the relationship with Jin Rinxu, her daughter. After all, she was her own flesh and blood, but their relationship was already entangled. They argued every time they met, and cried afterward. Li Luchen, seeing this, knew what Zihu experts were saying. They were truly a pairing, a pair. Jin Rinxu looked nothing alike, save for her golden hair and spirit. Jin Zunji. Your Holiness, Elder Li Luchen has a secret letter for you. Zhu Daoluo's feminine voice rang out. Just as Ghost Daoluo had informed Bibi Dong, Zhu Daoluo received Li Luchen's letter. What else could he do? Save his own dead old ghost, of course. Present it. Bibi Dong was furious at the moment, and she wanted to know what this brat had concocted to compliment her. Bibi Dong opened the letter. Your Holiness the Pope, may the years gently caress you, leaving no trace on your resolute features. May your heart remain forever young, like the rising sun, radiant and illuminating the path forward. Your beauty lies not only in your outward appearance, but also in your indomitable and courageous spirit. May you remain forever young and beautiful, unrivaled in your grace, and achieve extraordinary things. The letter, omitting countless compliments, consisted of over 1,000 words, 90% of which were compliments to Bibi Dong, raving about her beauty, her formidable skills, her noble character in the Spirit Master world, and her formidable power in the Spirit Master field. Bibi Dong read word by word, her brows, once furrowed in anger, relaxed, and the corners of her mouth curved slightly. The latest novel is being released on the 6th book bar. Li Yusong, after all, is a liberal arts student, so he's quite adept at writing short essays, even using verses from poetry. Bibi Dong's favorite is the clouds resemble clothes, the flowers resemble beauty, the spring breeze brushes the threshold, the dew thickens the beauty. Bibi Dong roughly grasped the meaning, corresponding to the opening line of unparalleled grace and beauty. Yes, she, Bibi Dong, is such a truly extraordinary and stunning woman. How, brat, you've passed, Bibi Dong said softly. Zhu Douluo and Ghost Douluo knelt on one knee, looking at each other. They were used to this. Although a little tired, it was a chance to relax. And since His Holiness sounded in a good mood, they probably wouldn't be in trouble. At the end of the envelope, Li Yusong expressed his embarrassment. Li Yusong, very embarrassed, for having snatched away 200,000-year soul beasts that Bibi Dong had her eye on. He then told Bibi Dong about the 3,000 tire ant kings within the Star Dou Great Forest. 1,000 tire ant kings are among the most powerful insect-type soul beasts. These three, having devoured their queens, hunt soul beasts in the Star Dou Great Forest, reaching a cultivation level exceeding 90,000 years, very close to the 100,000-year mark. Furthermore, the 1,000 tire ant kings themselves are top-tier soul beasts, making them a perfect match for Bibi Dong's soul-devouring Spider King. As both are insects. While the soul-devouring Spider King primarily cultivates evil and darkness, spiders are already quite powerful, so increasing their strength wouldn't be a problem. Furthermore, Bibi Dong had no plans to add any more dark and evil attributes. She clearly felt that her own darkness and evil had reached a critical point, and absorbing more might affect her personality. These 3,000 tire ant emperors were just the right size. Bibi Dong forgave Li Yusong for stealing her soul beast. As a mother-in-law, she was too magnanimous to hold a grudge against such a brat. A prime minister's heart could hold a boat, that was exactly what she was like. As a pope of a higher rank, she could be even more tolerant. What puzzled Bibi Dong most was Li Yusong's letter, which mentioned that hunting and absorbing the 3,000 tire ant emperors simultaneously might yield a surprise. Bibi Dong didn't know what the surprise might be, but she had a feeling he had something else in mind. Simultaneously absorbing 3 soul rings approaching 100,000 years old was no small feat, even with her current cultivation level of 98. But she really wanted to give it a try. She was only 3 soul rings away from the complete collection. If absorbing all 3 simultaneously would bring a surprise, could it be that the 3 soul rings would resonate and advance to 100,000 years of age? Bibi Dong felt it was increasingly possible. She seemed to have found the answer. Only then would it truly be a surprise. Bibi Dong felt that she really needed to make sufficient preparations, so she dismissed Zhu Douluo and returned to the palace alone to start her next plan. Chapter 155, Firm Determination of Tao. Bibi Dong began her next plan. No one knew what it was, only she knew. Inside Bibi Dong's secret room, a large painting was displayed. It contained multiple symbols: the Clear Sky Sect, the 7 Treasures Glazed Tile Sect, the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex Sect, the 4 Lower Sects, and the emblems of the 2 great empires. The symbol for the Heaven Dou Empire was pinned down by a cabbage symbol, and the Heaven Dou Empire and 7 Treasures Glazed Tile Sect symbols were circled in red. The symbols of the 4 lower sects were also circled. Bibi Dong picked up a red marker and crossed out the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex Sect symbol, then wrote 1, then, she crossed out the Clear Sky Sect symbol and wrote 3. As for 2, the symbol for 2 was the character How, which Bibi Dong had already crossed out multiple times. The world will eventually be unified, and I, Bibi Dong, will be the sole empress. Ha 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 ha. Bibi Dong's high-pitched laughter echoed through the secret room, though it was a chilling laugh. No one knew what Bibi Dong was planning, no one knew her ambitions. Even Li Yusong, a time traveler, couldn't imagine Bibi Dong becoming such a powerful figure. Li Luochen's impression of Bibi Dong was that of a love-brained person with a flawed mind. She would give up everything for love, even if the man was a scumbag or irresponsible. Li Luochen felt that Bibi Dong might be a little different, but a love-brained person was still a love-brained person. Her heart was completely focused on her white moonlight. Even if she didn't destroy the world, she was a ticking time bomb. Li Luochen took advantage of Bibi Dong's current state of mind to exploit her resources to prevent her from going crazy. However, Li Luochen could never have imagined that Bibi Dong would go from being a love-brained person to a powerful figure. Indeed, it was Li Luochen's sudden inspirational letter that woke Bibi Dong up. Li Luochen had a fondness for Jin Ringsu at the time, and having received numerous benefits from the Spirit Hall, he was deeply displeased with Bibi Dong's ungrateful behavior. As a Spirit Hall member himself, Li Luochen penned an anonymous letter of insults and had it delivered to Bibi Dong by Jin Ringsu's subordinates. Bibi Dong was furious when she received the letter. The aura of murderous intent and evil permeated the Pope's Hall during those days, and no one dared to seek misfortune there. After venting her anger, Bibi Dong wept alone in her secret room, reflecting on her past and realizing that it was indeed her fault. Jin Zunji had possessed her in order to keep her in the Spirit Hall, but his methods were truly disgusting. Li Luochen even made a particularly disgusting point: if Bibi Dong were from the Seven Treasures Glazed Tile sect or any other sect, her spirit and soul power would have been crippled to support her direct disciples and breed elites for the sect. Bibi Dong thought about it, thinking it was something the sects could do. Regardless of age, she, Bibi Dong, would be treated as a progeny and forced to bear children endlessly. The thought sent a chill down her spine. Kang Sunji was at least incredibly handsome. Despite his age, for a man with a six-winged angel spirit, his looks were truly stunning. At least when Bibi Dong was a teenager, she'd often complimented her teacher on his good looks to win his favor. Bibi Dong also remembered how, after returning from the Slaughter City, she'd lost control of her murderous aura. It was Kang Sunji who, using his divine origins, helped her gradually master the killing god realm, though he later engaged in indecent acts against her. She couldn't resist until the Tang Hao incident. To find Bibi Dong's 8th spirit ring, Kang Sunji set his sights on the 100,000-year-old blue-silver emperor, hoping to use it as the 8th ring for his first spirit. Although Bibi Dong still loathed that bastard, the thought of him made her want to chop him into pieces. But it's undeniable that, aside from this one incident, Jin Zunji treated her well in every way, giving in to her every need. He even severed ties with a fiancée he had been betrothed to by Jin Daoliu in his youth, just to make her feel better. And what about her so-called white moonlight? An educated, yet a self-proclaimed master of theory? Bibi Dong felt like laughing now. She'd been showing her theories to Uzia Gang, and some of them even Bibi Dong found hilarious now. After coming to her senses, Bibi Dong's mind was elevated, primarily because she was no longer distracted by the Rakshasa god's divine thoughts, who eagerly awaited her succession. Bibi Dong's current state of mind could be described as clear and lucid. Her mind was so strong that her past energy couldn't shake it. After coming to her senses, Bibi Dong independently formulated a plan, the Douluo Unification Plan. She wanted to empower the common people, overthrow the aristocracy that exploited them, and lead them towards a perfect world where they could have enough food and clothing. To this end, she personally issued an order to thoroughly investigate all corrupt officials within the Spirit Hall, executing those who exploited the people while clinging to the Spirit Hall's influence. Bibi Dong personally executed 3 Soul Daolus. This iron-fisted policy soared Bibi Dong's reputation to a new high, significantly increasing not only the Spirit Hall's prestige but also its prestige among ordinary Spirit Masters. At the same time, Bibi Dong overhauled the Spirit Master subsidy system, eliminating the eligibility of useless Spirit Masters from large families, as well as those over 30. The latest novel is now available on the 6ix9ine book bar. Subsidies for young and great Spirit Masters were increased, and housing for these younger, ordinary Spirit Masters was provided, allowing them to reside in branch Spirit Halls. As a result, the common people's reliance on the Spirit Hall has intensified, and many commoner Spirit Masters have joined the Spirit Hall. Originally, each branch Spirit Hall had a dozen or so deacons, but now each has at least 50. However, branch deacons' duties extend beyond awakening spirits. They also protect the common people's villages. This series of policies has improved the quality of life for the lower classes, leading to their high prestige. The royal families of the two empires don't understand why the Spirit Hall has implemented such policies. They believe that the truly powerful are the families and legions loyal to the empires. The common people are irrelevant, serving only as a means of storing food. After all, in this era, the principle of water can carry a boat, but it can also overturn it doesn't apply. They believe that the more powerful one is, the more influential one is. Unfortunately, in other worlds, these commoners pose no threat, but this is the Douluo Continent, where even titled Douluos would be overwhelmed by the vast armies. With the two empires losing popular support and the Spirit Hall embracing it, where would the scales of victory tilt? Moreover, Li Yusong has the Shrek god behind him, so there is no possibility of the gods getting hurt. Tang San's foundation and backing are gone, and he can no longer cause any trouble. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 156 Transaction. Li Yusong returned to Shrek Academy. Their soul hunt was incredibly quick, and went incredibly smoothly. Who could have known those two lickers would come face to face with them, and then be brutally beaten? They took less than 10 minutes to kill them, savagely injured by the combined power of the 7 titled Douluo's 8 or 9 spirit skills. Li Yusong and Dou Guyan were the only ones left to finish them off. The soul hunt was half travel time, half absorbed by spirit rings. Li Yusong was left wanting to ask, who else? Upon returning to Shrek Academy, Flanders informed him that Ning Fengzi had approached him and agreed to a deal, offering to discuss it later. Li Yusong naturally accepted, instructing the Academy's steward to pass on a message. I'm waiting for Sect Master Ning at Shrek Academy. Next, Li Yusong decided to help his grandfather, who had been stuck at level 79 for a while. Fortunately, Li Yusong had 2 extremely aged, golden-blooded sub-dragon spirit bones, perfect for his grandfather, Li Yusong. Li Yusong didn't say anything, simply using what his grandson had given him. He knew his grandson already had a full complement of 100,000-year-old spirit bones, and looked down on those with only a few years. Li Yusong was speechless. With his talent and spirit ring configuration, he should have been a soul sage at best, and even the weakest, given the age of his spirit rings. But his grandson was a reliable figure. Not only did the immortal herbs boost his aptitude, but the spirit bones also boosted his cultivation. Li Yusong now possessed 2 10,000-year-old spirit bones, a 50,000-year-old golden python head bone, and a 9,000-year-old left arm bone, later upgraded to the 10,000-year level. The next spirit bones Li Yusong gave his grandfather, Li Yusong, were the 90,000-year-old right arm bone of a golden unicorn dragon and the 80,000-year-old right leg bone of a golden python. These 2 soul bones were a perfect match for Li Yusong. After absorbing them, he easily achieved the Soul Douluo stage. With a little more refinement, he could venture into the Star Dou Great Forest to hunt souls. He had long been preparing his grandfather's 8th soul ring in the Star Dou Great Forest. At the junction of the Mixed Zone and the Core Zone in the northeast corner of the Star Dou Great Forest, there lay an 80,000-year-old golden crocodile dragon, a soul ring perfectly suited for Li Yusong. Li Yusong planned to assist his grandfather in the soul hunt after completing the transaction with Ning Fengzi. 3 days later, Ning Fengzi arrived at Shrek Academy with his daughter Ning Rongrong and Swordbone Douluo. The Shrek team gave a grand reception. First came the protagonist, Li Yusong, followed by Dou Guyan, then Dou Gubo, the level 97 Super Douluo, and Yu Xian Sheng, who Li Yusong had invited to serve as a backdrop. The 2 tiger brothers, Dai Xiangxing and Dai Xianun, also arrived, along with the Shrek Academy's dean and 2 vice-deans. It could be said that all of Shrek Academy's top fighters were present here. This lineup made Ning Fengzi a little nervous. He himself was a level 79 soul sage, and although he was a support type, his perception was not bad. He could sense the cultivation levels of Dai Xiangxing, Dai Xianun, and the Shrek Academy dean. They were all Soul Douluo level powerhouses. What surprised him most were Li Yusong, Dou Guyan, and the man in green clothes beside him. He knew Dou Gubo was already a Super Douluo with a soul power of level 97, so he was confident. But what about Li Yusong and Dou Guyan? Sect Master, it seems they're trying to intimidate us. Old Poison, not to mention, has improved his strength. Li Yusong, that brat, actually has the aura of a soul Douluo and is quite dangerous. I suspect he possesses a 100,000-year soul ring. Old Poison's granddaughter has a similar aura, though weaker than Li Yusong's. She's probably also reached level 85, enhanced by her 100,000-year soul ring. And that young man in blue isn't as advanced in soul power as Old Bone and me, but he's equally dangerous. His soul power is probably only around level 93, but he'd be incredibly formidable in a fight. Sect Master, it seems they've made all the necessary preparations. Ning Fengzi, once radiant, was now perspiring. He'd originally planned to bring Swordbone Douluo with him, so he'd at least have a strong presence, but what happened? Shrek Academy actually had a titled Douluo? This was more than Ning Fengzi could have anticipated. Besides the two titled Douluo, the others were soul Douluo level powerhouses. Their aura is notably impressive. At least a few boasted a soul power aura comparable to that of the 89th level elders of his Seven Treasures Glazed Tile sect. It looked like today was going to be a bloodbath, Ning Fengzi thought. As a businessman, he already possessed every 10,000-year-old soul bone in the sect. Breaking through the bottleneck in his soul evolution was his lifelong dream, and he wanted to give it a try. As long as his soul evolved, he would be willing to transform the 7 Treasures Glazed Tile Pagoda into 9 treasures, or even an 8 Treasures Glazed Tile Pagoda. He could still have children. Rongrong would definitely have one husband, while her soul might not be passed down. Ning Fengzi had enough wives to have several children. Welcome. Sect Master Ning, please proceed to the conference room, Flender said first. After all, he was the dean of Shrek Academy, and held equal status with Ning Fengzi. Okay, thank you, Dean Flanders. Ning Fengzi nodded in gratitude, then turned to Ning Rongrong. Rongrong, go have some fun at the academy. Daddy's got some things to discuss with the dean and the teachers. Okay, Daddy, I'm off now. Ning Rongrong skipped off. She knew Director Li and Daddy were about to make a deal, but she wasn't too concerned. For now, she just wanted to focus on her training and having fun. Li Yusong and his group arrived at the conference room with Ning Fengzi and Swordbone Douluo. The room wasn't formal, with plenty of snacks and drinks on the table. Since it wasn't a serious meeting, it was a relaxed atmosphere. Only Swordbone Douluo and Sect Master Ning Fengzi of the 7 Treasures Glazed Tile sect entered the room. The Shrek Academy representatives were Li Yusong, Poison Douluo Dugubo, and Wind God Douluo Yishianshang. The others didn't enter because there was no need. The intimidation had been accomplished, and everyone went about their business. Du Yan, disliking the atmosphere of a face-to-face meeting, went straight to play with Ning Rongrong. The latest novel is now available on the 69th book bar. Li Yusong sat in the main seat, sipping his drink with a calm demeanor. Dugubo closed his eyes, resting, while Yu Xiansheng savored a snack, appearing unheard and unhurried. Meanwhile, Ning Fengzi appeared calm and composed, but inwardly, he was deeply uneasy. He was well aware of the terms of the deal, but he had no idea how high Li Yusong's asking price would be. Master Ning, you seem a little uneasy. Let's get straight to the point, Li Yusong said, pulling out a brocade box and opening it to reveal a golden pill. This is the Kilo pill. Rongrong is taking this. I'm a business person, so you can try it first to see if it's truly effective. As for if you decide to change your mind after taking it, haha, I'm not afraid of that. Li Yusong handed the Kilo pill over, unfazed by Ning Fengzi's rebelliousness. Ning Fengzi gazed at the pill with a fiery look, but soon calmed down. Haha, Director Li, what are you talking about? Let's just do the normal transaction. How can I get ahead of him? Since Director Li is so generous, I won't hide anything. Ning Fengzi also produced a storage soul guide and released it. Chapter 157 Soul Bone. One chapter to be updated first. The second chapter will be updated tonight. Ning Fengzi produced a storage soul guide and scattered dozens of soul bones. These bones shone brightly, all 10,000-year-old. However, Li Yusong could sense that most were 20 to 30,000 years old. There was one 50,000-year-old soul bone, two 40,000-year-old soul bones, and the rest were in the 20 to 30,000-year range. Li Yusong had high standards, very high. This was evident from the fact that he had a body full of 100,000-year-old soul bones. He had high standards. What? Wasn't your golden light left leg bone 60,000 years old? Now it's 100,000 years old. How could that be? And the soul bones released from the same soul ring were very effective. However, Ning Fengzi's ability to produce so many 10,000-year-old soul bones showed that he had truly brought out his wealth. Furthermore, Li Luochen hadn't expected this 50,000-year-old soul bone to be a torso bone. Something special. It looked like Ning Fengzi was indeed eager to trade. The cost was considerable, but it wasn't enough. Li Luochen still had a spirit tool he hadn't yet given away, so these soul bones were probably just a start. He wanted to trade so many soul bones to obtain both Li Luochen's kilo pill and his spirit tool. It was a smart move, and Li Luochen almost agreed. But then he decided to think it over. It seemed like the advice made sense. Sect Master Ning, why don't you try swallowing the pill first? Once you succeed, we can proceed with the actual transaction. Let me take a look at the soul bones first, Li Luochen said to Ning Fengzi with a smile. He then used his spirit power to drag the soul bones toward him. Du Bo had never seen so many 10,000-year soul bones gathered together. Yushai and Sheng, standing nearby, had a blank expression, surprised by the unfamiliarity. He had been inside the spirit hall's treasure vault before. The spirit hall had accumulated countless soul bones, even several 100,000-year soul bones. Sadly, none of them were suitable for him. Most of them were light-attributed 100,000-year soul bones. There were no wind-attributed 100,000-year soul bones at all. However, the majority of the Spirit Hall's collection of soul bones came from the soul bones dropped by successive Spirit Hall elders upon their passing. The Spirit Hall had been established for 1,000 years, and more than 1,000 titled Douluo elders had joined the hall, so their soul bones were numerous. Furthermore, the Spirit Hall's successive judgment elders had destroyed numerous soul master families, and they had also collected a considerable amount of soul bones. These were all Spirit Hall's resources, but using these soul bones required the approval of the Elder Hall in the Worship Hall, otherwise, even the Pope would have difficulty using them. Of course, all this is aimed at Bibi Dong, the outsider Pope. If Jin Zunji were in power, he could take whatever spirit bones he wants. For example, when she was still a saint, Jin Zunji gifted Bibi Dong with a spirit immunity skull. This spirit bone is said to be 90,000 years old, secondary setting. It was precisely because of this spirit bone's protection that Bibi Dong was immune to the murderous aura of the Slaughter City and was able to pass through it in less time than Tang Hao. This demonstrates the importance of spirit bones. Ning Fengzi probably still has some spirit bones left as a last resort. These are just preliminary items. Li Luochen is in no hurry. He's waiting for Ning Fengzi to slowly produce them. The 50,000-year-old Scarlet Flame Scar Rising Torso Bone, the 40,000-year-old Dark Gold Bear Right Arm Bone, the 40,000-year-old Scarlet Flame Dragon Right Arm Bone, the 30,000-year-old White-Headed Vulture Left Leg Bone, the 30,000-year-old White Feathered Eagle Left Arm Bone, all top-grade spirit bones. At this moment, Ning Fengzi handed the golden elixir to Jian Douluo Chengxin, asking him to examine it. Jian Douluo nodded, probed it with his spiritual power, and then sent a telepathic message to Ning Fengzi, stating that it should be fine. Li Luochen and the other three observed Ning Fengzi's conversation with Jian Douluo. Ning Fengzi's caution was perfectly natural for a veteran like Ning Fengzi, but Li Luochen felt no need to say anything. It would be strange if he didn't check it. After hearing Jian Douluo's affirmation, Ning Fengzi swallowed a kilo pill and sat cross-legged to absorb its effects. As Ning Fengzi began to absorb the kilo pill, his spirit, the 7 treasures glazed pagoda, automatically unleashed its power. The colorful pagoda shone with a dazzling light. The 7 treasures glazed pagoda began to transform, gradually growing an 8th floor. However, the illusory 8th floor began to solidify, perfectly merging into the 8 treasures glazed pagoda. Before the end, the 8 treasures glazed pagoda began to grow a 9th floor, but it disappeared after that. The 9th floor had grown, but it was illusory. Sword Douluo, Bone Douluo, and Li Luochen had all witnessed Ning Rongrong's 9 treasures glazed pagoda, whose 9-story structure was remarkably solid. However, Ning Fengzi's 9th floor was ethereal, resembling a shadow. Ning Fengzi likely lacked talent, preventing him from evolving into the 9 treasures glazed pagoda as perfectly as Ning Rongrong. This, however, did not prevent him from reaching the title Douluo level. However, his current limit was likely around level 91. If Ning Rongrong were lucky enough in this lifetime, 100,000-year spirit ring would allow her to ascend to at least level 98. Furthermore, Li Luochen was even more certain that Ning Rongrong possessed divine affinity and would eventually become the nine-colored goddess. After all, she and Oscar were already very close. Oscar was destined to become the god of food, and Ning Rongrong, as his girlfriend and future wife, would undoubtedly inherit the nine-colored goddess rank. After all, the god of food and the nine-colored goddess were husband and wife. However, it was still early days. Oscar and Ning Rongrong's potential for divine attainment was only just beginning to emerge. An hour later, Ning Fengzi had almost absorbed the medicinal power, much faster than Ning Rongrong. After all, Ning Fengzi was a level 79 soul sage, and his soul power was quite advanced, so naturally, he could absorb it faster. Soon after, Ning Fengzi opened his eyes and saw his martial soul at first sight, a solid tower with 8 layers, and the final 9th layer was quite illusory. Whether it was called the 9 Treasures Glazed Tower or the 8 Treasures Glazed Tower was no longer important. Ning Fengzi had finally broken through the bottleneck that had held him for over a decade, reaching level 80. He had previously put in immense effort to reach that level, using everything from rare treasures to soul bones, but unfortunately, he had never succeeded. However, that soul power was truly within him. Now that the bottleneck had been broken, the accumulated soul power was finally beginning to grow. Ning Fengzi felt that if he could obtain his 8th soul ring, his soul power could rise several levels. After all, he had been cultivating diligently for nearly a decade, and only after failing to achieve a breakthrough did he focus on all matters of the sect. The latest novel is being released on the 69th Book Forum. Ning Fengzi couldn't hide the joy in his eyes, but he maintained a certain reserve. After all, he was surrounded by others. If he were alone, Ning Fengzi would have wanted to laugh out loud and jump up and down. Sword Douluo, congratulations, Sect Master. Bone Douluo, yes, congratulations on your breakthrough. The 2 guardian Douluos of the 7 Treasures Glazed Tile sect were also happy for Ning Fengzi. After all, the 7 Treasures Glazed Tile sect was their home, and Ning Fengzi was their junior. The 3 of them had supported each other and led the 7 Treasures Glazed Tile sect from the 3rd largest sect in the world to the 2nd largest. Second scenario, congratulations, Sect Master Ning. Now we can proceed to the next step of the transaction, Li Luochen suddenly said. Chapter 158 Transaction 2. Li Luochen prepared a round of trades, the next one to be conducted on spirit-guided weapons. Ning Fengzi valued these spirit-guided weapons, which could help sect disciples protect themselves. Okay, Director Li, the spirit-guided weapons you offered us are truly impressive. They're far superior to bows and crossbows, and they have a long range. I wonder how many you have in stock and what you'd like for them. Ning Fengzi was well aware of the power of spirit-guided firearms. Equipping a single flintlock rifle to a direct disciple would significantly increase their safety. I have tens of thousands of flintlock rifles, each costing 300 gold soul coins. I wonder how many you'd like, Sect Master Ning, Li Luochen casually offered. Flintlock rifles are made of simple materials, wood and forged metal, costing only 4 or 5 gold soul coins. Spirit-guided semi-automatic rifles and pistols are much more expensive, but Li Luochen wasn't interested in selling the latter. Just the flintlock? I wonder if Director Li will sell those semi-automatic rifles and pistols. Ning Fengzi wanted to buy everything, even the blueprints, to produce and sell them himself. That would be a fortune. Semi-automatic rifles and pistols take too long to produce, require too much material, and haven't been mass-produced yet. I don't want to trade them, but Sect Master Ning can offer you a different soul weapon, Li Luochen said, holding out 2 blueprints, one for a soul-guided flintlock rifle and the other, a brand new one, which Li Luochen named a soul-guided shotgun, or perhaps a soul-guided beretta. This soul-guided weapon is called a soul-guided shotgun, or soul-guided beretta. It's a close-range soul-guided firearm capable of killing a soul sage within 10 steps. It's incredibly powerful, but you have to hit the target, of course. Ning Fengzi's eyes suddenly blazed. The soul-guided flintlock was good for long-range attacks, while the soul-guided shotgun was perfect for close combat. The soul-guided shotgun only has 2 rounds of ammunition at a time, but its advantage is its fast reload speed. It takes about 5 breaths to reload. Li Luochen finished his introduction, then took out a finished soul-guide beretta and looked at Bone Douluo beside him. Your Majesty, Bone Douluo, would you like to test the power of this weapon yourself? Bone Douluo was also stunned. Then he exchanged glances with Ning Fengzi and Chen Xin and stood up. Come on, I'll take it. Li Luochen aimed at Bone Douluo. Snap. Snap. Bone Douluo simply used his martial spirit to create a bone shield, without any soul skills, and his soul power output was not even high. He was a title Douluo known for his defense and eccentricity. Even soul Douluos couldn't break his defense. How could he have the power to kill a soul sage? People like Bone Douluo are typical self-reliant experts, looking down on the bonus of external objects. While it is possible in the cultivation world, this is Douluo Continent. How much can one cultivate on his own? Even a title Douluo could fall to his death, and tens of thousands of years from now, soul-guided weapons would dominate the world. Solo soul masters would no longer be the mainstream, with dual cultivation becoming increasingly common. Bang! Bang! Two elixirs instantly fired, the bullet scattering like celestial flowers towards Bone Douluo's bone shield. Crack! The shield shattered instantly. Bone Douluo was confident that even a soul Douluo would need a full-strength attack to break his newly crafted shield. How could this little gadget actually break it? Sword Douluo was also shocked. Could such a weapon really be so powerful? Of course not. Li Yusong's Beretta was specially crafted, allowing him to amplify his own soul power, increasing its power. His soul-guided Beretta could easily launch a sneak attack and severely injure a title Douluo. Furthermore, Bone Douluo was only 7 or 8 steps away from Li Yusong, perfectly within the range of its maximum power. Bone Douluo was stunned, but fortunately, he was a title Douluo. The moment his bone shield shattered, he channeled his soul power and released his martial spirit to block the numerous shrapnel. Bone Douluo was forced to release both his martial spirit and spirit rings, but it was still a better sight than being injured by this little thing. What do you think, Sect Master Ning? How about this weapon? Li Yusong said with a smile. Ning Fengzi looked at the scattered shrapnel around him, which had considerable power even in any corner of the room. His eyes suddenly focused, as if he had made a firm decision. Director Li, I'll take as many of these as you have. The 7 treasures glazed tile sect is not short of money, Ning Fengzi said firmly. That depends on Sect Master Ning's sincerity. Gold soul coins can purchase weapons, but blueprints are not. Li Yusong sat down again, took a sip of tea, and said casually. Ning Fengzi's eyes shifted, then he glanced at Sword Bone Douluo. Sword Bone Douluo's eyes were also hesitant, because they had indeed brought a lot of chips this time. The previous spirit bones had indeed been used in advance. Aside from the 50,000-year-old torso bone and the 40,000-year-old right arm bone, which were complete, the rest were either forearm bones or calf bones, which were incomplete. But while incomplete, it was still a 10,000-year-old soul bone, powerful enough to break a title Douluo's head. Ning Fengzi then made up his mind, took out a red card, and from the storage soul guide around his neck, he pulled out 3 more soul bones. The energy aura of these 3 soul bones was extremely high, comparable to that of the 50,000-year-old torso bone. Director Li, I'm a straightforward person. These 3 soul bones are the only inherited soul bones in our sect, a 50,000-year-old fire spirit sacred beast torso bone, a 48,000-year-old extreme speed forward right leg bone, and a 55,000-year-old gale divine eagle right leg bone. And this red card has a limit of 100 million gold soul coins. How about it? I think my sincerity is sufficient. The latest novel is released first on the 6th book bar. Ning Fengzi had expended considerable resources this time. To ensure the sect's direct disciples had the ability to protect themselves, gold soul coins were a minor expense. 100 million gold soul coins represented only 2 or 3 years' worth of the 7 treasures glazed tile sect's revenue, representing only 45% of its treasury. The more important thing was the spirit bones. Most of these were purchased. Those over 40,000 years old were obtained by hunting spirit beasts since the sect's founding, and they were considered quasi-inherited spirit bones. The true inherited spirit bones belonged to Ning Fengzi and Sword Douluo. Sword Douluo possessed a torso bone over 70,000 years old and a left arm bone 60,000 years old. Bone Douluo possessed a pair of 65,000-year-old left and right arm bones. Ning Fengzi himself possessed a 50,000-year-old skull of concentrated spiritual wisdom and a right leg bone capable of teleportation for 50,000 years. These were the 7 treasures glazed tile sect's inherited spirit bones. While the 2 torso bones were certainly inherited spirit bones, they were both fire attributed, making them completely incompatible. Furthermore, the 7 treasures glazed tile sect hadn't had a fire attributed title Douluo level protector elder in nearly 200 years. As for the fire-attributed Soul Douluo Elder, there certainly was one, but he was only level 84 and already in his 70s, seemingly hopeless for title Douluo status. Ningfengzi had a love-hate relationship with the two torso bones. The 50,000-year-old torso bone was truly exceptional, its value comparable to that of a 70,000-year-old limb bone. Trading them now was a painful experience. As for the 40,000-year-old right leg bone and the 50,000-year-old right leg bone, things were even more awkward. He, Sword Douluo, and Bone Douluo all possessed right leg bones. Sword Douluo's came from his 5th soul ring, while Bone Douluo's came from his 6th. Ningfengzi's right leg bone, which had the ability to teleport, was a must-have for all successive sect masters, primarily for survival. It was unfortunate that both had been traded. These soul bones were worth as much as 60% of the 7 treasures glazed tile sect's wealth, and they were beyond the reach of even the most lucrative. However, for the safety of the sect's disciples, he reluctantly traded them away. Soul bones can be purchased again. As long as the 7 treasures glazed tile sect still exists, then with the sect's business level, there is no need to worry about not having soul bones. It is just a matter of money. The 7 treasures glazed tile sect is not short of money. Chapter 159 Big Improvement. Li Luochen and Ningfengzi completed a mutually beneficial deal. Ningfengzi felt a pang of pain but could barely accept it, while Li Luochen profited handsomely. Li Luochen looked at the spirit bones, thinking that the teachers and seniors of Shrek Academy could be greatly strengthened. His first thoughts went to Flender, Liu Erlong, Zhao Wuji, and Qin Ming. The 2 torso bones, both of fire attributes, should be given to Qin Ming and Erlong's wife. The Crimson Flame Soaring Sky torso bone seemed to be from a Crimson Flame Flood Dragon, a sub-dragon species that perfectly matched Liu Erlong's Crimson Dragon martial spirit. The Fire Spirit Sacred Beast torso bone was perfect for Qin Ming. During a gathering with Qin Ming and other seniors, Qin Ming had mentioned that he wanted a Fire Spirit Sacred Beast for his 8th spirit ring. The Fire Spirit Sacred Beast is considered the pinnacle of fire-attributed spirit beasts. Its form resembles a wolf, tiger, and leopard, but its strength lies in its divine and fire attributes, making it an extremely powerful spirit beast. Li Luochen knew a bit about the Fire Spirit Sacred Beast. Jin Ringsu had told him that one of her original candidates for her 7th soul ring was a Fire Spirit Sacred Beast, as its divine and fire attributes were well suited to a seraph. Fire Spirit Sacred Beasts were incredibly powerful, though not quite on the level of a Titan ape, where 100 years could rival a 10,000-year beast. But 1,000 years was enough to rival a 10,000-year beast. It was said that an 80,000-year-old Fire Spirit Sacred Beast was as powerful as a 100,000-year-old beast, and certainly far more powerful than a 100,000-year-old soft-bone rabbit. Li Luochen planned to give the 50,000-year-old Fire Spirit Sacred Beast torso bone to Qin Ming and the other fire-attributed soul bone to his mistress, Erlong. Li Luochen was optimistic about his own dean, Flender. He was already level 86, not far from level 87, and possessed 4 soul bones. The 2-leg bones were millennia old. Li Luochen, now possessing the power of the Blue-Silver Emperor's right leg bone, could definitely help them replace their limb spirit bones. A 30,000-year-old white-headed vulture's left leg bone and a 55,000-year-old swift eagle's right leg bone would be a perfect match. There was also a 30,000-year-old white-feathered falcon's left arm bone. These spirit bones were of the highest quality, perfectly suited for Flender. Li Luochen felt that once these soul bones were replaced, along with a strengthening and nourishing 9th-grade purple Ganoderma pill, Flender should be able to gain several levels without any cost. Li Luochen speculated that his spirit power might be at level 88, close to level 89. With a little more practice, he should be able to break through to title Douluo. At that point, he would have to Gubo pass on the soul core technique to Flender, and Flender's level 89 bottleneck would be much easier. Next up was Liu Erlong. She possessed 2 soul bones, a 20,000-year-old Earth King left arm bone and a 9,000-year-old Scarlet Flame Python head soul bone. While their ages were quite low, they were more than enough to support her husband and raise her children. The resources should be sufficient for her to ascend to title Douluo and become a perfect couple with Flender. This suggests that Liu Erlong should be able to obtain a 50,000-year-old Scarlet Flame Burning Heaven torso bone and a 40,000-year-old Scarlet Flame Flood Dragon right arm bone. Furthermore, Liu Erlong was currently at level 79, which could help her reach the Soul Douluo level. As for Lao Zhao, he was fortunate. He already possessed a 20,000-year-old earth brown bear torso bone and an 8,000-year-old 1,000-ton ant left arm bone. Meanwhile, there was a 40,000-year-old dark gold bear right arm bone suitable for Lao Zhao, a 20,000-year-old mighty diamond bear left arm bone, a 10,000-year-old head sole bone, and two 10,000-year-old strength leg bones that would suit him. With this, old Zhao is now fully equipped with spirit bones, all of them 10,000-year-old. He's already level 84, still a long way from reaching title Douluo, but if he fully equipped himself, he might be able to reach title Douluo within 5 years. As for the remaining spirit bones, he'll wait until Mo Yu and other seniors reach Soul Sage. However, there's a 48,000-year-old right leg bone that Li Luochen has saved for Zhu Zhuking. His pure love was shattered by Jin Ringsu, and he suddenly thought Zhu Zhuking was quite pretty, with that unpleasant rage. Li Luochen kind of wanted to play with her. And then there's Yi Lingling. Li Luochen had noticed she looked at him strangely, and he also thought this socially anxious girl was pretty. Oh no. Oh no. I've become a scumbag. I've been recognized by Acacia Heartbroken Red, so I should have fallen in love with someone else. Am I really a born scumbag? Forget about the scumbags. They like me, and I'm interested in them too. Let's pack them all up and take them away without a single regret. A few days later, Qin Ming emerged from his retreat, having successfully reached level 70. Li Luochen had just gathered Flender, Liu Erlong, Zhao Wuji, and Qin Ming. Here's the thing. Dean, Master's wife, and Teacher Zhao, you all have hopes of becoming title Douluo, so I want you to reach that level as quickly as possible. If Senior Dou isn't around, the academy won't be safe. And Senior Qin, you have the highest cultivation level among our graduates besides Yanzi and me, so I'll help you reach title Douluo quickly. Li Luochen explained the deal with Ning Fengzi. Xiachen, I understand you want to honor us, but you should consider yourself. The dean is getting quite old, and he's confident he'll be a title Douluo in a few years. There's no need to occupy these spirit bones. Flender frowned. He felt that Li Luochen was the academy's true hope, and that helping him become stronger quickly was the key. Yes, Xiachen. Old Zhao, I'm pretty good at Soul Douluo. Last time I met that old man, Titan, and we wrestled for a bit, our power now evenly matched. And that was all thanks to the immortal grass you gave me. If you give me another soul bone, I won't accept it. Zhao Wuji, despite his bulk, was thoughtful and considerate, always treating his own people well. Well, I'm not trying to discourage you. I'm already fully equipped with soul bones, and they're all at the 100,000-year mark. And my soul power level is already 87th level, so there's no need to worry about me, and neither does Yanzi. Li Luochen spoke, unleashing his soul rings, 4 black and 4 red, with 87th level soul power pressing down on the teachers. The 4 of them. So our feelings were in vain, huh? So you think we're too weak, right? Liu Erlong, Zhao Wuji, and Qin Ming all went to absorb soul bones. Li Luochen called Flanders aside. The process required for Flanders was a bit more involved. They had to remove 2,000-year-old leg bones and replace them with 10,000-year-old ones. This is why Li Luochen asked Liu Erlong to absorb the soul bones first. Fearing she might become overwhelmed by love, he slapped her. The latest novel is released on the 69th Book Forum. This is it, Dean, please make the decision. I do have the ability to help you replace your soul bones, but only for your limbs. Your cultivation has reached level 86 and you'll soon be title Douluo. These 2,000-year soul bones are truly unworthy of you. Li Luochen informed Flender of the soul bone replacement, as he still needed his consent. Flender pondered for a moment, then looked at Liu Erlong, his heart hardening as he thought of his lovely daughter. His gaze became resolute. Okay, Xiachen, I'm not afraid of you, Dean. For the sake of my family and the academy, I need to become stronger. Come, Flender said firmly. All right. Dean, I will infuse your body with light attributes to lessen your pain. Then, I'll sever your legs and replace their spirit bones. Since you're not a title Douluo, removing your spirit bones is life-threatening. However, my right leg bone will replenish your vitality, ensuring your safety. Afterward, I'll replace them with these 2 10,000-year spirit bones, using their power to regrow your legs. Li Luochen explained the method and then produced a sharp broadsword. The golden-hued left leg bone began to gleam with a dazzling light, infusing Flender's body with it, bringing him a sense of comfort. With a snap, Flender's left leg was severed. Chapter 160 Big Improvement 2. I've been sick lately, and working constantly under the scorching sun has been a bit overwhelming, so my writing isn't very good, and there are bound to be some typos I haven't checked. My apologies to all my readers. Flanders' right leg was broken, but the bleeding wasn't significant. Li Luochen's right leg bone was helping to manage Flanders' injury. Li Luochen quickly removed the 1,000-year-old soul bone and replaced it with a 55,000-year-old speed eagle right leg bone. Once the soul bones were attached, Li Luochen harnessed the power of the blue-silver emperor's right leg bone to regrow Flanders' right leg. It then fused with his soul bone again. The process was swift and miraculous. Flanders had never heard of such a method, and as the soul bone was being removed, he clearly felt his soul power was about to drop. However, the powerful life force held him back, allowing him to maintain his soul power at level 86. As the 55,000-year-old soul bone gradually integrated into his body, Flanders felt his soul power rising. With the right leg replaced, Li Luochen next turned to the left, using a 30,000-year-old white-headed vulture leg bone. Flanders' left leg bone was a drop from his fourth spirit ring, only about 4,000 years old, and possessed no additional benefits. Li Luochen quickly sliced Flanders' leg open, then peeled the bone off and replaced it with a 30,000-year-old white-headed vulture leg bone. The entire process was a smooth and fluid process. Alright, Dean, we're done. These two 10,000-year-old spirit bones should be quite good, right? Your spirit power should be increasing. Here's another 30,000-year-old white-feathered eagle left arm bone. You can absorb it and digest the spirit power of these three 10,000-year-old spirit bones. By the way, I'll use my own spirit power to help you open the 8 extraordinary meridians. Don't resist. Once the 8 extraordinary meridians are opened, your cultivation speed will significantly increase. Li Luochen agreed on the next steps. Since he wanted to strengthen the dean, he decided to do so thoroughly. Li Luochen felt that the first dean of Shrek Academy had at least a higher level of cultivation. The original four-eyed cat owl, Flanders, was only at the rank of title Douluo, and even if he broke through, he would only reach the ordinary level. Consuming the immortal herbs and these spirit bones would guarantee Flanders' super Douluo potential, but that wasn't enough. Li Luochen felt that Flanders needed to be at least level 98 super Douluo. However, breaking through to level 98 is incredibly difficult, given Flanders' aptitude. If Flanders were given a full 100,000-year 9th spirit ring, perhaps it would be possible. But finding a 100,000-year spirit beast suitable for an eagle is out of the question. Even if Flanders were to find one, he wouldn't necessarily be able to absorb it. His head spirit bone is only 15,000 years old, and his mental strength is mediocre. He might not be able to withstand the soul shock of a 100,000-year spirit beast. But what if it were a weaker 100,000-year spirit beast? Yes, and that little rabbit? Tisk tisk, it seems like I can't keep you around. Li Luochen had originally intended to use Xiao Wu's King's spirit ring, but it seems plans haven't kept pace. Xiao Wu's unleashed spirit abilities are quite impressive: teleport, invincible golden body, and ethereal form. Flanders seems capable of using them, too. If Flanders kills Xiao Wu's spirit bone will surely be the torso bone, giving Flanders a full complement of spirit bones. But it's a shame for little Wildcat. Xiao Wu's spirit ring and spirit bone would be perfect for her. Alice, little Wildcat, you're not mine yet. Dean Flanders has been very kind to me, and I'm more than willing to help him. Flanders attached a 30,000-year-old left arm bone to his left arm and absorbed it right there. This time, he wanted to absorb 3 spirit bones and digest the energy they brought. Li Luochen looked at Flanders' broken legs and unleashed flames to burn them. It would be strange if they woke up with 2 extra legs. This matter needed to be kept between Li Luochen and Flanders. Before burning it, Li Luochen checked Flanders' lap to see if there was anything on it, to avoid burning his own personal money. After checking, Li Luochen burned it. He then sat cross-legged behind Flanders, his hands resting on his back. He infused his soul power into Flanders' body, channeling it to help him open his 8 extraordinary meridians. With his 8 extraordinary meridians opened, Flanders' soul power flowed more fluently than ever before. He then used his soul power to digest the soul power from the soul bone. Bang! Flanders' soul power rose to level 87, and it continued to rise. The 10,000-year soul bone was truly a treasure even title Douluos would covet. It was enough to boost a title Douluos soul power. And Flanders, who was only aiming for soul Douluo status, was about to reach the pinnacle of level 87 with his constantly rising soul power. Flanders was in unprecedented form, breaking through to level 88 in one go, just 2 levels away from becoming a title Douluo. Meanwhile, Liu Erlong was the first to absorb a soul bone, reaching level 80. Qin Ming was the next to awaken. This was his first time absorbing a soul bone, and he truly experienced its benefits. He understood why soul bones were considered Blood River's most precious treasures. Qin Ming absorbed 2 soul bones, specially selected by Li Luchen, a 50,000-year-old torso bone from a sacred fire beast, and the left leg bone from a 35,000-year-old fiery demon wolf. This leg bone was considered the best of all, aside from those over 40,000 years old. Qin Ming's soul power was still at level 70, and the soul power from the soul bones was accumulating within him. Once he absorbed his 7th soul ring, it would surge. Furthermore, Qin Ming now possessed 2 soul bones, including the torso bone, which meant he could increase the age of his 7th soul ring. The original age was around 40 to 50,000 years. Now, he could attempt a 60,000-year cycle. Furthermore, Qin Ming's mental strength was not weak. Although he lacked a head soul bone, his mental strength was exceptionally strong. It was unknown why. His spiritual power was actually very close to old Zeus. Li Luchen speculated that this senior might be exceptionally gifted. Some people are born with exceptional spiritual power, which is why Shrek Academy graduate Qin Ming holds the highest cultivation level. Mo Yu, despite pursuing him for so many years, still fell a little short. Qin Ming originally possessed a mutated spirit, and it's likely due to his high spiritual power that his spirit didn't mutate into a malignant state. Indeed, a genius remains a genius even with a mutated spirit. The latest novel is now available on the 69th book bar. As for our old Zhao, he'll be absorbing 4 spirit bones this time, a head spirit bone over 10,000 years old, a 40,000-year-old dark gold bear right arm bone, and 2 strength-type leg bones over 10,000 years old. These are all extremely suitable for old Zhao. Before absorbing the spirit bones, old Zhao was at level 84. After this wave of absorption, Li Luchen speculated that he would be no less than level 86. This time, there are 3 soul hunters. Li Yusong has already absorbed 2 golden bloodline soul bones, breaking through to level 80. Liu Erlong and Qin Ming have also broken through their bottlenecks and are ready to obtain their next soul ring. Du Bo will be asked to lead the team again and help them hunt soul beasts, while Li Luchen will guard Shrek Academy. Although Li Luchen is now a soul Douluo, his combat power is comparable to that of a super Douluo. He possesses a full complement of soul bones of 100,000 years or higher, 4 100,000-year soul rings, and his unique ring fusion skill. Li Luchen is extremely confident. He is invincible below level 98, and at most a drawer with a level 98. He has never encountered a level 99 divine envoy, and he is unsure of the strength of this era's divine envoys. Once everything is ready, Li Luchen decides to quietly eliminate Tang Hao. This cancer, a threat like a nuclear deterrent, is best eliminated. Half a day later, Zhao Wuji and Flanders gradually awaken. Zhao Wuji's soul power broke through to level 87, and Flanders' soul power was level 88. However, Flanders had already come a long way to level 88, and he would soon be able to break through to level 89. Chapter 161 Li Luchen is in big trouble. Li Luchen was delighted to see the teachers and seniors' cultivation levels improve, and old Zhao was already impatient, ready to go and challenge Titan again. Last time, it was a draw, and old Zhao didn't gain much advantage, which left him very unhappy. The question of who was the strongest between the mighty gorilla and the mighty King Kong bear would have to wait and see. Flanders, as he was preparing to return to his training, bringing Liu along with him. Li Luchen suspected the two were expecting a second child. Zhao Wuji clenched his fist, said to Flanders, "I'm going out to run something," and left, leaving Li Luchen and Qin Ming alone. While Qin Ming was grateful for Li Luchen's help, he knew his personality well. He disliked polite conversation with his family, which he found rather distant. "Ziachen, thank you for this. What do you want to eat? Brother Ming is treating us, and we're not leaving until we're drunk." Qin Ming thanked him, then put his arm around Li Luchen's shoulder and said with a smile, "Okay, we won't go home until we're drunk. Oh, and Brother Ming, Brother Yu, Hongjin, and Xiaoyao, let's get together," Li Luchen said with a smile. Qin Ming had a very easygoing personality, and Li Luchen and him got along very well. Qin Ming was also extremely intelligent and talented. He hadn't taken any immortal herbs yet, but only whale glue, elixirs and medicinal baths crafted by the Po Yi clan to aid his cultivation. Li Luochen thought it would be a good idea to also give Qin Ming a 100,000-year spirit ring and spirit bone. Then he could try his luck at the immortal volcano in the Star Dou Great Forest. With Qin Ming's previous talent, he was bound to become a titled Douluo. Thanks to Li Luochen's intervention, Qin Ming reached the Soul Emperor stage at the age of 28, and now at the age of 34, he reached the Soul Sage stage, a bit later than Tang Hao. But remember, Tang Hao possessed the inherited spirit bone and resources of the Hao Tianzong. Although Tang Hao was now like a lost dog, he was once the Hao Tianzong's most talented disciple. From Tang Chen down to the menial disciples, everyone held high hopes for Tang Hao, and Tang Hao's resources within the Haotian sect were unwavering. Qin Ming, before achieving Soul Emperor status, didn't have many resources. It was only after Li Luochen's reminder that he finally shirked the honor of possessing a 1,000-year-old fifth spirit ring. Qin Ming's fifth spirit ring, though just over 10,000 years old, was a perfect match. Qin Ming and Mo Yu had originally acquired this fifth spirit ring together. The two brothers trained together without incident, and after several years of training, they joined Blue Domination Academy as instructors. During this time, Flanders taught them the wonders of whale glue. Using the medicinal properties of high-quality whale glue, they eliminated impurities from the body and increased their strength. Flanders personally led the team in their pursuit of the super-limited sixth spirit ring. Now a 34-year-old soul sage, Qin Ming was considered quite powerful. Li Luochen believed that within 10 years, Qin Ming might achieve title Douluo status, considering he was still in his prime cultivation years. As a brother, Li Luochen would definitely help Qin Ming obtain a 100,000-year spirit ring. He also believed he would become the second Shrek Academy Dean, though he wouldn't hold the position for long. After the continental situation was resolved, he would ascend to the divine realm. The deanship would be vacant, and since Flanders had retired, he was unsuitable to take over. Therefore, Qin Ming was the best choice. His quick mind and youthful strength made him more than capable of handling the position. After thinking this over, Li Luochen and Qin Ming left together. They were going to get drunk tonight at the Arhat Bureau. Meanwhile, at the Xiandao City Crown Prince's mansion, Jin Ringsu had little to do today. She had few documents to review for the Xiandao Empire, and she had finished them long ago. Now, she was enjoying a brief moment of relaxation. Jin Ringsu was in her own secret room, savoring a delicious snack. Her appearance had returned to normal, and the relationship between her and Li Luochen had become seamless. The emptiness in her heart seemed to have been filled. She had been in a good mood recently, but just as she put a piece of pastry into her mouth, something unexpected happened. Ugh! Jin Ringsu suddenly felt an inexplicable wave of nausea, an urge to vomit. Startled, she spoke to the darkness beside her. "Uncle Shi, call Aunt Song. I'm suddenly feeling unwell." "Yes, Miss." Snake Lance Douluo Shilong went inside to fetch someone. This Aunt Song was a spirit sage of the Spirit Hall's healing department and a physician, specially assigned by Jin Daoliu to care for Jin Ringsu. Jin Ringsu never used the palace physician, she only trusted Aunt Song. The fact that she was calling her Aunt Song now suggested something was amiss. "I hope I'm overthinking it." Jin Ringsu suddenly felt a little nervous, a tinge of fear and anxiety rising within her. Not long after, Aunt Song arrived. She was taking Jin Ringsu's pulse. Can't doctors take pulses? When she suddenly frowned. In Jin Ringsu's secret room, Kenglun Douluo, Tyrant Douluo, Snake Lance Douluo, and Thorny Porpoise Douluo were all present, and they all noticed Aunt Song's expression. "Young master, what's going on?" Aunt Song was terrified, her eyes etched with panic. She sensed this was a very serious matter. "What's wrong? Why are you so flustered?" "Speak slowly." Kenglun Douluo frowned. "Could it be that Xiaoxu has developed some incurable illness?" "No, it's just that." Aunt Song wanted to say something, but then she gave Jin Ringsu a look that begged her for mercy. "The latest novels are released on the 6th book forum. Aunt Song, just tell me. I'll plead your innocence." Jin Ringsu felt her suspicions were correct. "Yes, thank you, young master." "Your excellencies, the young master is not ill, but she's pregnant," Aunt Song said timidly, feeling as if the last words had drained all her strength. "Kenglun Douluo, what? How could Xiaoxu be pregnant? Could it be that brat? Xiaoxu, did he get her?" Kenglun Douluo was incredibly emotional. Jin Ringsu was the darling of their worship hall. He held her in his arms for fear of dropping her, held her in his mouth for fear of her melting. Even with his own nephew, Yushai and Sheng, he treated her with a free-range approach. Jin Ringsu agreed shyly, her cheeks flushing. She hadn't expected to get pregnant on the first try. Li Luochen had been tormenting her so much that she couldn't get out of bed for the entire day. She'd been experiencing a sore urination for the past few days, and it had only been a little over 2 weeks. Li Luochen hadn't been looking for her during this time because he was out hunting souls, which she knew. King Li Douluo had only returned a few days ago, meaning she'd been pregnant for over 2 weeks. Damn Li Luochen, humph. I'm going to be a mother. This year looks like it's going to be tough. Luckily, I've prepared a body double to cover the days I can't be around. Tyrant Douluo's eyes widened, while Snake Spear Douluo and Thorny Porpoise Douluo's mouths dropped. They'd heard something. Their young master had been raped and was pregnant. If the high priest knew about this, he'd be doomed. The titled Douluos exchanged glances, their consensus unanimous. Li Luochen was in big trouble. Chapter 162 The little cotton-padded jacket is leaking. Li Luochen was in big trouble. I'll go get that brat here. Young master, how do you want to deal with him? Third grandfather will help you. King Li Douluo, a top-tier expert known for his calm, wisdom, and agility, now had a blazing look in his eyes, as if a universe were exploding. No, third grandfather, I'll have someone send him over later. He might be a playboy, but he's a man of his words. He never says he can't do it, let alone gamble. Besides, he's the only one on the entire continent worthy of me. Jin Ringsu shook her head in refusal. She couldn't hit Li Luochen. At the very least, she had to do it. She had decided that if Li Luochen's first reaction wasn't to cheer her up, she would ignore him. King Li Douluo had no choice but to give up. Their little cotton-padded jacket seemed to be leaking. He wondered what the high priest would do if he found out. Meanwhile, in Wuhan City, Jin Daoliu, sitting cross-legged beneath the angel statue in the priest hall, suddenly felt as if he had lost something important. This vague feeling made him feel deeply uncomfortable, even worse than being defeated by Tang Chen. Jin Daoliu didn't understand why this was happening. This feeling was so mysterious, even when he hadn't caught up with Poseidon, he'd felt this way. Alice, I'm getting old, and my senses are failing. I wonder when Xiaoxu will come back to see this old bone of mine. Jin Daoliu suddenly sighed. At this moment, Jin Daoliu and Golden Crocodile Douluo were the only ones in the worship hall. Lion Douluo had gone into seclusion to break through, Light Feather Douluo was out playing, and the two brothers, Qianj and Jiangmo, were off to spar somewhere else. Only this old fellow was left listening to Jin Daoliu's Versailles rhetoric. Golden Crocodile Douluo. Are you telling me I'm old? Looking 30-something is considered old? I'm afraid I'm already buried. A limit Douluo can live for nearly 1,000 years, and you're a great deity, so you have a long lifespan, right? I'm nearly 200 years old, and I'm still in good health. I can still live for a few hundred more. You're telling me I'm old? Zhao was furious. Golden Crocodile Douluo's mind was constantly grumbling, but that was all he was thinking about. Lately, with nothing better to do, he'd been reading a book by a renowned author, the eldest son of the Li family. Its contents brought back memories of his youth. He felt his cooling spirit begin to ignite again, the bottleneck of level 99 loosening a little. 30 years in the east, 30 years in the west, he said, don't despise the old and the poor. Even though he wasn't poor, he wondered how he could not reach the limit Douluo level. Spirit Hall records showed limit Douluos reaching the level of over 200, approaching 300. Golden Crocodile Douluo, wasn't even 200 yet, he was still young. He was no less than a match. Elsewhere, in the core area of the Star Dou Great Forest, finally, we've defeated these three beasts. They're truly formidable, truly perfect for my spirit rings. This Rakshasa scythe is truly astonishingly powerful. Its divine power is truly enviable. The speaker was Bibi Dong, the priestess of the Spirit Hall. She had already completed 5 of the Rakshasa divine trials. To expedite Bibi Dong's divine attainment, the Rakshasa god had taken great pains to grant her temporary control of the artifact. Only after the 7th trial could the full power of the artifact be unleashed. The 3,000 Tire Ant Emperors were riddled with wounds, one completely broken into multiple pieces. Black and red spirit rings appeared on their bodies, signaling the demise of these powerful spirit beasts. Suddenly, Bibi Dong felt a wave of unease, as if something important had been stolen from her. That feeling, could it be Xiaoxu? Did Xiaoxu let that brat succeed? No, I have to ask. After I absorbed the spirit rings, a woman's sixth sense is usually very accurate, and Bibi Dong had already guessed the correct answer. Bibi Dong ignored all that and decided to absorb all 3 spirit rings at once. According to that little bastard, absorbing all 3 spirit rings together would bring a surprise. What exactly was that surprise? Bibi Dong wanted to know, and she loved surprises. She acted decisively. Aside from her relationship issues, Bibi Dong was incredibly decisive in everything else. Bibi Dong immediately pulled the 3 spirit rings of the Thousand Jun Ant Emperor onto herself. Her second martial soul now contained 6 spirit rings, 5 black and 1 red. The 6th ring was Xiao Wu's mother, Aro. Absorbing 3 spirit rings at once would be suicidal. Absorbing 1 spirit ring would require resisting the energy and soul shock of the spirit beast. Absorbing 3 spirit rings would mean withstanding the pressure of 3 spirit beasts simultaneously. However, Bibi Dong was confident she could absorb it. Her soul power had reached level 98, and her mental power, having seen through the past and begun to face the future, had become clear and her mind was enlightened, significantly increasing. According to later theories of mental power, Bibi Dong's mental power had reached the pinnacle of the spiritual realm, a realm where her mental power could project her own memories. She was only half a step away from divine consciousness, perhaps even half a step to the divine origin realm. A few days later, in the starred out Great Forest, is this the surprise that brat was talking about? I love it. I forgive your previous disrespect. Bibi Dong's spirit rings emerged, 5 black and 4 red. Such a terrifying configuration. Combined with Bibi Dong's primary spirit, the Death Spider Emperor, Bibi Dong now possessed 500,000-year spirit rings. After absorbing the spirit rings, Bibi Dong's spirit power not only increased to level 99, but when she regained consciousness and saw the configuration of her spirit rings, she was astonished. Then she realized that the 3,000 tire ant kings were of the same species, devouring the weaker spirit beasts of the starred out Great Forest like conjoined twins. After the 3,000 tire ant kings were defeated, their spirit rings resonated with their absorption. This resonance directly increased the age of the 3 rings, reaching a genuine 100,000-year level. However, Bibi Dong examined her spirit abilities and discovered that her 8th and 9th spirit abilities each had only 1. The 8th, Thousand Tire Barrier, was an extremely powerful defensive spirit ability. Bibi Dong had a life-saving spirit ability, immortality, but no defensive spirit abilities. The latest novel is now available on the 6-9 book bar. This Thousand Force Barrier is perfect for emergencies, and it consumes far less soul power than the immortal body. The 9th soul skill, Thousand Force Soul Devouring Slash. Following Bibi Dong's 6th soul skill, the Space-Rending Abyssal Slash, comes another powerful soul skill, capable of both ranged and close combat. Furthermore, this soul skill ignores both physical and soul defense, in other words, true damage, ignoring all defensive soul skills below the divine level. Bibi Dong was extremely satisfied with these 2 soul skills. Soul skills are about quality, not quantity. Bibi Dong, possessing twin spirits, has no shortage of soul skills. What she lacks is this divine skill. Bibi Dong is now confident that her strength surpasses that of Jin Daoliu. Even if Tang Chen were to return to life, she, Bibi Dong, would be able to slay him. Bibi Dong didn't know Tang Chen was still alive, so she assumed he was dead. Black magic fairy laughs. The entire continent will belong to my spirit hall. All who resist must die. The spirit hall's unification of Douluo Continent is unstoppable. After Bibi Dong finished her going crazy, she went to check if the 1,000 tire ant emperors had released any spirit bones. Although Bibi Dong had obtained 300,000-year spirit rings, the spirit beasts were still over 90,000 years old, so she wasn't sure if they would release any. Then, Bibi Dong found a spirit bone from the first 1,000 tire ant emperor. Overjoyed, she went back to search for spirit bones and discovered that all 3,000 tire ant emperors had released spirit bones. However, these spirit bones remained unchanged, all 90,000-year-old, not evolving to 100,000 years. Among them, she found a torso bone, a left leg bone, and a right arm bone. After all, Bibi Dong's attack methods were primarily based on poison and true damage, which was like a brutal massacre on the spirit beasts. The 3,000 Tyrant emperors held a high level of resentment, and their age was sufficient for spirit bones to be released. Bibi Dong was also incredibly delighted. After all, she'd always had good luck with spirit bone drops. When she'd broken through to title Douluo, she'd hunted the 100,000-year-old Death Spider Emperor, and he'd given her both arm bones, allowing her to reach title Douluo level 94 in one fell swoop. This saved her a lot of training time, and when she reached her 6th spirit ring, she'd even received her own external spirit bone, the 6-winged purple light wing. According to Spirit Hall records, external spirit bones hadn't appeared in hundreds of years. Bibi Dong had always had good luck, her life had been smooth sailing, and she'd only made 2 mistakes in her choices of men. What a shame. Well, give this torso bone and left leg bone to Nana. Nana has recently reached level 49. That Brant's theory is pretty good, and he allowed Nana's 4th soul ring to absorb beyond the limit for 9,000 years. Nana directly surpassed Zi Yunyan. These 2 soul bones are my gifts as a teacher. Bibi Dong took the 3 soul bones and left. Not long after she left, a soul beast ran out and devoured the corpses of the 3,000 Jun Ant Kings. The soul beast world is such a place where the strong prey on the weak. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 163 Becoming a Father. That day, Li Luochen had just finished training with Du Guyan when he received a letter from Jin Ringsu. The messenger was Snake Spear Douluo, which made Li Luochen think something had happened to Jin Ringsu. After all, they had just gotten together, and he truly loved the little angel. So, he dragged Du Guyan along and headed straight for the Crown Prince's residence. Since they had already met, it wouldn't be a problem. Li Luochen entered the residence smoothly. No one dared to stop him. Everyone in Xiandao City knew this. Li Luochen was a lackey of the Crown Prince's residence. The youngest and most talented spirit master on the continent, becoming the Crown Prince's man, would only solidify the Crown Prince's position. Ever since Zhu King had a child, Emperor Zhu Yi's suspicions about him had lessened. He ignored Zhu King's poisoning of his 2 brothers, as he had ascended to the throne in a similar manner. Being an emperor required ruthless tactics. The only unfortunate thing was that the Crown Prince's cultivation talent wasn't high, being in his 20s and only a soul master. Emperor Zhu Yi had also met the Crown Princess. Well, she was a bit old, in her 30s, but his son liked her. In his 30s, his soul power level had reached the soul saint level. Barring any unexpected events, the Crown Prince would have an extremely high talent for cultivation. It was precisely because he had a successor that Emperor Zhu Yi felt confident in gradually passing power to Zhu King. As for Zhu Ying, well, he was in a terrible state. While pretending to be a dandy, he provoked a Soul Douluo expert and was beaten halfway through his body by the Soul Douluo expert. The Soul Douluo expert might have been afraid of the Xiandao Empire's strength and refrained from killing him, but the strong should not be insulted. Not killing the prince meant not insulting the royal family. Besides, it was the prince who provoked the incident and was not on the right. This time, Zhu King's status rose again. Li Luochen had heard from Du Gubo that Emperor Zhu Yi had privately sought him out to discuss state affairs. Emperor Zhu Yi wanted to abdicate. His health was deteriorating, and Emperor Zhu Yi suspected he had been poisoned. Of course, he was poisoned. Du Gubo stated this directly, promising to help Emperor Zhu Yi with the antidote. Du Gubo had long known that Emperor Zhu Yi was poisoned. The poison was none other than the forbidden 7-colored poison of the Po Yi clan. Du Gubo knew how to cure the poison, but would it do him any good? None. Prince Zhu Xing had long since repaid him for his services, and he was already a spirit hall attendant. Now officially affiliated with a faction, he had to work. While Du Gubo was apparently working on the poison, Emperor Zhu Yi's health seemed to be improving day by day, even stronger and more vigorous. He could indulge in his harem every night and handle state affairs without fatigue the next day. Emperor Zhu Yi was overjoyed and rewarded Du Gubo with a 10,000-year soul bone, a 45,000-year-old thunder eagle torso bone. He had personally taken Du Gubo to select it. Originally, Emperor Zhu Yi wanted to give Du Gubo a snake spirit bone, but Du Gubo refused. It just so happened that among Shrek Academy's younger generation, a soul emperor named Mo Yu was quite powerful, and he considered him worthy of a title. So, He took the spirit bone. Well, at that moment, Emperor Zuyi felt a pang of pain. This was one of the inherited spirit bones in the imperial collection, of exceptional quality. But since Douluo had saved his life, that was fine. Did Douluo truly save Emperor Zuyi? Of course not. The medicine Douluo gave Emperor Zuyi seemed to have prevented the poison from taking hold, making him feel better day by day. In reality, Emperor Zuyi's body was already riddled with wounds, yet he still felt vigorous and energetic. He was paying for it with his lifespan. If Emperor Zuyi continued his indulgence, he would likely die within 2 years. The cause of death was excessive indulgence, a testament to the mastery of the Puyi clan's poisoning. Aside from Douluo, Yang Wudi, and Tang Sen, no one else could tell it was poisoning. Are there not many emperors who die from excessive indulgence? This is a normal phenomenon. As long as Zuyi dies, Jin Ringsu will ascend the throne, and the Heaven Dao Empire will then fall into the hands of the Spirit Hall. Slowly eliminate the nobles within the Heaven Dao Empire. After all, in the smaller regions of the empire, the Spirit Hall's prestige far surpasses that of the empire itself. Nearly half of the empire's territory already lies in Jin Ringsu's hands. But the message conveyed to the imperial family remains one of peace and prosperity. Li Luochen took Du Yan's hand and led them to the secret chamber. This route was incredibly familiar. Du Yan looked at Li Luochen with resentment. This bastard had been here many times. It would be helpful to find someone to share the burden with her. Her back was truly strained. They say there are no plowed fields, only exhausted oxen. But Li Luochen was truly an exception. He truly could not tire. Du Yan felt that if Li Luochen unleashed his full force, her fields would truly be destroyed. She had seen Jin Ringsu before. She was slightly taller than her and had a slightly better figure, but Jin Ringsu wouldn't turn into little dragon girl. Du Yan knew that when she transformed into a dragon and covered in dragon scales, she would enhance Li Luochen's combat power. Entering the secret room, Li Luochen and Du Yan had already spotted Jin Ringsu. She was now enjoying a truly nutritious meal. The rich, life-giving atmosphere of the secret room was breathtaking. Li Luochen was curious. Jin Ringsu's diet usually consisted mainly of sweets and pastries, so why was she eating so well today? It was all nutritious, delicious, and beautiful. Why did the Kingloan offering behind her look so threatening? Li Luochen and Du Yan sat at the table across from Jin Ringsu. Jin Ringsu put down her cutlery and wiped her mouth with a handkerchief. Li Luochen could see that she was wearing minimal makeup today. Du Yan also noticed that something was wrong with Jin Ringsu, and she felt her position as the eldest wife might be shaken, so she fidgeted. "I'm pregnant," Jin Ringsu said directly. "What? High decibel, X2, Li Luochen and Du Yan screamed. Li Luochen was surprised. Pregnant for the first time? Becoming a father? But Li Luochen was still very happy. He had lived in Douluo Continent for 19 years, and his strength had reached the top level in this world. The latest novel is being released on the 6th book bar. Jin Ringsu was pregnant, so the Spirit Hall would definitely not touch him. He was worried about what to do if the Spirit Hall backstabbed him. Well, this time it's all right. Jin Ringsu is pregnant. A mother is honored by her son. No, a father is honored by his son. The child born to Jin Ringsu and him would definitely be the next pope of the Spirit Hall, but Li Luochen speculated that the next Spirit Hall leader might not be the pope, but the emperor of the Spirit Empire. Du Yan was bewildered. It's over, Du Yan, are you giving up your child just to have a few more years of fun? Wow, if I hadn't gone on birth control every time I worked out, her child would be able to walk, and she'd be riding the wave of power. So annoying. Du Yan had actually considered having children, but after seeing Liu Erlong give birth, she felt a little hesitant. She wanted a child, but she was afraid of the pain. Li Luochen, it's okay, I enlarged you, so it must be a natural birth, then you can't go on undercover missions anymore. You need to recuperate. Do you plan to return to the Spirit Hall or go to Shrek City? As Du Yan's thoughts wandered, Li Luochen asked the crucial question. Hearing that Li Luochen cared about her, Jin Ringsu was still very happy inside, but she couldn't show it easily. She was proud. Since you said so, then going to Shrek City is fine, but I have to go to the Spirit Hall in advance and report to the Spirit Hall. You can come with me then. When they mentioned going together, Jin Ringsu suddenly smiled slyly. She was already prepared to watch Li Luochen go to the worship hall and be scolded by her grandfather. Let this bastard always bully her. Okay, I'll go. Call me when the time comes, Li Luochen agreed. There was no way he could escape a beating. He had already tricked his granddaughter into his hands. There was no way the old man wouldn't make a move. It was probably a thunderous rage. Chapter 164 Development. I wonder if your grandfather would agree to come to my place to nurture the pregnancy. I have a fine pharmacy here, stocked with rare treasures. I'll have Yanzi prescribe some medicine for you to heal your body. Even spirit masters are vulnerable after pregnancy, and a careless mistake could lead to underlying illness. So, what do you think? Li Luochen agreed with a simple reasoning. Since he was going to have a child, he had to nurture it well, starting from the fetus. Since you've said that, I'm still worried you'll harm me. But I wonder if little Yanzi can handle it. Jin Ringsu looked at Du Yan with a half-smile. HMPH. What do you mean? My medical skills are far superior to yours. I prepared the foundation-building medicinal bath for Aunt Erlong's child. Judging from her current condition, she must have innate full spirit power. And her physical fitness is more than capable of withstanding a 1,000-year spirit ring. In terms of medical skills and pharmacology, I dare say I'm one of the top 5 on the continent. Du Yan felt Jin Ringsu was insulting her medical skills. It's not that I look down on your medical skills, but I'm afraid that Miss Du will have some resentful thoughts at that time, and will give something to a weak pregnant woman like me to make her position as the first wife more stable or something. Jin Ringsu then said, Tea, real tea. Jin Ringsu, when did you learn this kind of tea art? Du Yan was furious when she heard it. What do you mean, yellow-haired duck? Am I that kind of woman with a vicious heart? Chen's child is my child. Don't use your disgusting palace fighting to interfere with the relationship between Chen and me. What did you call me? Jin Ringsu was also angry. She has always been a little princess, and today she was called a yellow-haired duck. She couldn't stand it. Yellow-feathered duck, yellow-feathered duck, yellow-feathered duck. To explain why it's called a yellow-feathered duck, Jin Ringsu has blonde hair and a 6-winged angel spirit, but the inherited spirit of the simulated Zhu family is a swan. Since both have wings and feathers, calling them ducks is fun. You. How dare you call me that? You purple loach. Jin Ringsu quickly thought of how to respond to Du Yan. Yellow-feathered duck, purple loach, yellow-feathered duck, purple loach. The other titled Douluos watched helplessly. How could their age understand the thoughts of a young girl? King Li Douluo was about to yell, outrageous, but then he realized Du Bo's status seemed to be equal to his, and Jin Ringsu and Du Yan were of the same age, so he let them be. But it was such a delight to watch that even tyrant Douluo Long's henshin, standing nearby, began to tremble, trying so hard to hold back his laughter. Puff, a hilarious laugh escaped, and Li Luochen covered his mouth, trying to stop himself from laughing, but he couldn't. Li Luochen suddenly remembered something happy. His wife had given birth. Oh, wasn't that right? His wife had a baby. Yellow-feathered duck, purple loach, what new nicknames? What are you laughing at, X2? Jin Ringsu and Du Yan said to Li Luochen in unison, as if they had some kind of telepathic connection. One of them reached out and pinched Li Luochen's ear. Oh my god, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. My 2 sisters, no, my 2 madams, no, my 2 ancestors. I was wrong, the 2 who had just been at loggerheads were now united. Poor Li Luochen. The titled Douluo were already enjoying the show, and there was even a twist. It took Li Luochen about an hour to coax his 2 ancestors. They were really 2 living fathers. It was really tiring to serve them. After this quarrel, the 2 women were still unforgiving in words, but they had already recognized each other in their hearts. After all, they were 2 women sharing a husband. They were both the most talented female soul masters, and the pride can be imagined. It is difficult to recognize each other, but because of their similar strength, age, and family status, the 2 women still resonated. Tell me, what level are you after this soul hunting? I don't know yet. Jin Ringsu talked about business now. Li Luochen, level 87, Du Yan, level 85. You guys are such freaks. I just reached level 80 after taking the 8-edged sunflower. Grandpa had already prepared a spirit beast for me, but I got pregnant and can't absorb spirit rings anymore. I have to wait until the baby is born, Jin Ringsu was feeling down. She had once believed she had the best talent on the continent, but she'd ruined it. Then, she met Li Luchen, and her fate changed from her sixth spirit ring onward. Jin Ringsu's spirit rings were all capable of super-limit absorption, but they were still inferior to Li Luchen and Du Guyan's. Jin Ringsu's first spirit ring was 500 years old, her second 900 years old, her third 2,000 years old, her fourth 9,000 years old, and her fifth 20,000 years old. Jin Ringsu's original plan was for a sixth spirit ring of 50,000 years old, a seventh of 70,000 to 80,000 years old, and an eighth and ninth spirit ring of 900,000 years old. The latest novels are now available on the 69th book bar. Eventually, she met Li Luchen and learned about the benefits of whale glue. She had consumed 200,000-year-old whale glue pills and possessed 3 angel-set spirit bones. Her sixth spirit ring had been absorbed for over 80,000 years, and her seventh 100,000. All her subsequent spirit rings would be 100,000-year-old, but Li Luchen and Du Guyan both had a 100,000-year-old spirit ring from their seventh. Now, his spirit power level surpassed hers, which made her feel somewhat frustrated. It's nothing serious. A momentary surge isn't a rush. If you hadn't spared my life and spared my service, I wouldn't be here. A genius who doesn't mature is not a genius. You're destined for godhood, we're just a little ahead. I may have divine favor, but I haven't yet begun the divine test. I believe you can definitely do it, Li Luchen consoled Jin Ringsu. Then why don't you thank me now? Thank you, great God, for sparing my life. Jin Ringsu raised her head in joy, crossing her legs, looking triumphant. Thank you, young master, for your grace, Li Luchen said flatteringly, then whispered something into Jin Ringsu's ear. Jin Ringsu blushed immediately after hearing this, but nodded in agreement. While the three of them were talking, the other titled Douluo were absent. It was all about the youngsters, so why were these old guys just playing third wheel here? They had all arrived at the designated location to protect the secret room. And with Li Luchen and Du Guyan there, Jin Ringsu wouldn't be in any danger, given their immense strength. Tell me, how do you want to play? It seems you've been planning this for a long time, but I'm telling you, Zuir is pregnant and you can't mess with her. Du Guyan shielded Jin Ringsu's body. Seeing Li Luchen's wicked smile, she knew something was wrong. She had to hold on to the wall to get out, but she couldn't let the baby get hurt. Of course, if the waterway isn't an option, there's still the drier road. Madams, go to bed. Li Luchen embraced the two beauties, thinking of getting closer to the bed. Jin Ringsu didn't quite understand what the handy path was, but Du Guyan did. She'd already been fully developed by Li Luchen. Well, a pat on the dragon's buttocks signaled a change of position. After a night, Jin Ringsu understood the handy path. It hurt. It hurt so much, but after the pain subsided, it felt so good. Li Luchen, holding two of the most beautiful women in Douluo Continent, felt his life had reached perfection. He had found the meaning of a fulfilled life. Life should be this joyful, moving towards a better day. Chapter 165 Bringing Jin Ringsu back to Shrek City. A day later, Li Luchen left with only Du Guyan and returned with a large group. However, only Jin Ringsu was publicly present, the others remained in the shadows. Jin Ringsu's identity was largely unknown, the major powers only knew that Li Luchen had brought back a stunning blonde beauty. Over the course of a day, Jin Ringsu handed over her undercover duties to a stand-in. This stand-in prince possessed a duck spirit, with a respectable innate 4th-level spirit power. Jin Ringsu used a 10,000 years of light torso bone and 2 millennium soul bones to evolve with spirit into a spirit of light. The Zhu family's swan spirit possessed divine attributes. In fact, the founders of the Zhu and Dai empires were both former subordinates of the angel god, with the white tiger and swan being his 2 great generals. Possessing divine attributes of light, they assisted the first angel god in wiping out the evil spirit masters, repelling the beast tide, and establishing the One Palace, 2 empires. Later, the angel god achieved divine status by surpassing rank 100. The founders of the 2 empires, both at rank 99, witnessed the angel god's ascension, but later attempted to surpass rank 100 but were unable to do so, ultimately falling with the passage of time. Today, Xingluo's white tiger has lost its light attribute, while Xiandao's swan's innate spirit power is low. Jin Ringsu, a direct descendant of the seraphim, is well aware of the characteristics of the swan spirit. Finding a similar-looking swan with a duck spirit was difficult, but she found one. She assigned him to learn the crown prince's duties, including his manners and language. Because this double learned so quickly, Jin Ringsu generously gifted him with a spirit bone. The light trunk bone imbued his spirit with light attributes, allowing him to unleash his spirit without notice. Furthermore, his cultivation was perfectly sound. All matters concerning the crown prince were handled by this double. He fell in love with a soul saint elder sister, who happened to be a bishop of the spirit hall, though she wasn't employed in a main hall. The two of them fell in love after a while, and then, ordered to have a relationship and a baby. Jin Ringsu had been worried about having children, so this was a perfect opportunity. She ordered them to get married, and even arranged a grand ceremony. Zhu King, the stand-in, bowed down to Jin Ringsu. She couldn't even imagine being ordered to have a relationship while on a top-secret mission. Over the past few months, Jin Ringsu had gradually handed over her responsibilities to her stand-in, giving her more time to cultivate. Now that she was pregnant, it was a perfect opportunity for her stand-in to take over. After Jin Ringsu left the prince's mansion, she left behind Snake Spear Douluo and Thorny Porpoise Douluo. They were sole Douluo guards recruited by the prince. They were required to stay, and secondly, they needed to monitor Zhu King, the stand-in, and pass on messages. Zhu King, the stand-in, thought that the young master had actually left two titled Douluo guards to protect him, and he had to complete his mission to repay the young master's kindness. Returning to Shrek City, Li Yusong, holding Du Yuan in his right hand and Jin Ringsu in his left, swaggered into Shrek Academy, watched by the many Shrek students. Li Yusong was the spiritual pillar of Shrek Academy. At a young age, he achieved Soul Emperor status. And with his Soul Emperor prowess, he battled Soul Daluos, wreaking havoc on the Star Luo Empire. Yet, the Star Luo Empire was powerless. The students envied Li Yusong's prowess, and now, with a beautiful blonde, he'd brought back a beautiful woman. How many more heartbroken students were there? It was no secret that Li Yusong, the dean of the Academic Affairs Office, was married. Du Yuan was the dean of Shrek Academy's inner court, but with no one in the inner court at the moment, her position was unknown. Dean Li, hello. Hello, Director Li. Director Li, hello, everyone. Wow, it seems you're quite famous in the academy. Every student comes to say hello, Jin Ringsu exclaimed, observing the vibrant students. Of course. They are the pride of the future spirit masters. Although Shrek Academy is intimidatingly competitive, we prioritize cultivating our students' mindsets. Mental state is more important than physical strength. With a strong enough mindset, one can become a great spirit master. That's why I prioritize psychological development and offer 2 psychological counseling sessions each week. Li Yusong maintains a firm grasp on the mindsets of the Shrek Academy students. Spirit masters cultivate at a rapid pace, their strength increasing dramatically with each breakthrough. This isn't good. If their strength improves without their mental state, what good is that? Take Tang San, for example. His childhood was smooth sailing, but he became mired in frustration when he encountered setbacks. In the original timeline, he was beaten into autism by Shianshu Academy and nearly went insane. If he weren't a child of destiny, his luck would have been immense, but a few more failures would have shattered his mentality. Li Yusong's assessment of Tang San's mindset was nothing but trash. Li Yusong, didn't care about winning or losing. He didn't obtain the gold fighting spirit badge and had his share of failures in the fighting spirit arena, but did that hinder his growth? No. Failure only makes him stronger. Li Yusong isn't afraid of it at all. Only failure can help him see the path forward more clearly. Tang San's journey has been smooth sailing, with few setbacks aside from Xiao Wu's sacrifice, and those were all slaps in the face. He was, after all, a technique ancient, only skilled in cultivating strength, not mindset. Once faced with a major setback, he was bound to be overcome by power. But the most crucial factor was Tang San's teacher, Gang. Like teacher, like student. Gang was a coward, fond of empty talk about what he could teach. Gang looked down on ordinary spirit masters, even those with greater talent than himself. As the second young master of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex clan, he held himself in high esteem. People like him had no sense of humility, acting like they were truly powerful. Even when beaten, they still acted like masters. Li Yusong despised them, but he didn't want to engage in such frivolous behavior. He felt it was too dirty. The latest novel is first published on the 6th book bar. I see, I'm enlightened, Jin Ringsu understood. She has always been smart. If someone who has always been successful suddenly encounters setbacks, they are likely to get lost. Jin Ringsu feels that Li Luochen is a great treasure. He knows everything. There is nothing he doesn't know. She is very happy to have caught such a treasure boy. She can't wait to go back to the spirit hall and show off to her grandfather that she has found her ideal husband. Jin Daoliu, why do I feel more and more uneasy recently? It's strange. Zuir, let's go to my yard. It's big enough. Yanzi will prepare some pregnancy-maintaining medicine for you in a few days. Just take good care of the baby. I'd like to go out for a while, so you and Yanzi should stay home. With luck, there's a surprise, Li Luochen said casually. Neither Jin Ringsu nor Du Guyan could guess what the surprise was. Li Luochen wanted to eliminate the hidden danger. Tang Hao had been wanting to kill him for a long time, but he had never had the chance. This time, he would take the initiative and eliminate this hidden danger. Jin Ringsu was pregnant now and couldn't afford any rivals hiding in the dark. Her several titled Douluo guards might not be able to protect her in time. Li Luochen felt most at ease when Du Guyan stayed by Jin Ringsu's side. Du Guyan was a typical person with a sharp tongue but a soft heart. Although she was harsh in words, she had always treated Jin Ringsu as a family member and would definitely protect her. Li Luochen decided to set off tomorrow, because he would have to train the members of the Shrek team in about 10 days, and he wanted to get rid of Tang Hao during these 10 days. Chapter 166 Departure. After a day of warmth and happiness with Li Luochen, Du Guyan, and Jin Ringsu at Shrek City and Shrek Academy, Li Luochen ventured out alone. This time, he brought only 2 people with him, Yu Xiansheng and Du Gubo. Du Gubo was Li Luochen's most trusted trump card and protective shield, though he no longer needed it. Yu Xiansheng, on the other hand, was a witness, though he also wanted to take action. Just what level of prowess did the Clear Sky Douluo possess back then? Yu Xiansheng had always been curious about the so-called youngest title Douluo, who could defeat 3 veteran title Douluos just after breaking through. Old Yu, if we meet, let's play with you first. Let me take the kill. I also want to test the strength of the world's #1 weapon spirit. Li Luochen glanced at the young man in green. Well, I've wanted to fight that guy for a long time, but unfortunately, I was only a soul sage back then. Although Tang Hao and I are of the same generation, there's a decade or more between us. Now that I've finally reached the title Douluo realm, I want to see just how strong the guy who can defeat Uncle Zunji is. Can the top-tier weapon spirit, the Clear Sky Hammer, defeat a 6-winged angel? Let me, the Emerald Demon King Lun, test with skill, Yu Xiansheng spoke excitedly. After all, it had been a long time since he'd fought, and his hands were itching. Since his title Douluo breakthrough, he possessed 100,000-year spirit rings and spirit bones. Although his spirit power was only at level 93, his combat power was at least comparable to that of a level 96 Super Douluo. Yu Xiansheng himself was a prodigy, having reached the title Douluo realm at the age of 40. He possessed 100,000-year spirit rings and spirit bones, and a fully equipped body of spirit bones, all of which were top grade, 50,000-year-old and above. The defining characteristic of Yu Xiansheng's fighting spirit was that he didn't like to rush head-on into a fight. He was adept at using his speed to crush his opponent. When Li Luochen and Du Guyan first battled Yu Xiansheng, even using their spirit fusion skills proved useless, unable to defeat him. At least in this era, no one could surpass Yu Xiansheng in terms of agility attacks. However, agility attacks suffer from a significant flaw: they lack attack power compared to power attacks, and their own defense is also insufficient. Simply put, he's a fragile character with insufficient offensive power. But today's Yu Xiansheng is different. He possesses immense offensive power. Even at the Soul Douluo level, he could defeat Spirit Kite Douluo. His 8th spirit skill, at over 90,000 years old, boasts impressive offensive power, not to mention his current 100,000-year spirit skill. Furthermore, after absorbing the 100,000-year Sky Lord, he's nearing the pinnacle of wind, officially becoming a title Douluo possessing the power of ultimate wind. He possesses both speed and offensive power, and his previously weak defense has been strengthened. Yu Xiansheng possesses a spirit skill. It's unclear whether it's a spirit skill or a spirit bone skill, that creates a wall of wind resistance, making it difficult to penetrate. Yu Xiansheng had only stated that his defensive spirit ability was unbreakable unless possessed by a demigod level attack. Even if it were, he still had other life-saving skills. There was no solution, alright? This big brother had further improved his strength, and he was about to advance to level 94. In Li Luochun's opinion, Yu Xianshan could potentially reach the limit Douluo realm within 20 years. Although 3 people were sent this time, Douluo hadn't appeared. Li Luochun could sense Douluo's presence nearby, though his exact location was unknown. It seemed Douluo's strength had further improved, and even Li Luochun, with his level 98 spiritual power, had failed. This time, he would deal with Tang Hao on his own. Although Yu Xianshan was the lead, he would probably only tease Tang Hao for a while. The real battle would still be his. After Li Luochun's Soul Douluo breakthrough, his ring fusion ability had also improved. He wanted to test the power of his ring fusion against the Haoshan sect's explosive ring. Li Luochun's ring fusion was merely a soul ring fusion, combining the elements of 2 soul rings and releasing them, multiplying their power, but not affecting his soul skills. It's just a bit of a drain on mental energy. After all, it's a delicate task. The Haoshan sect's Great Sumeru Hammer's power increased significantly after the ring explosion, but the spirit ring was immediately destroyed and would only recondense after 3 days. Judging from this alone, Li Luochun's ring fusion was more powerful. Li Luochun and Yu Xianshan moved away from Shrek City. When they reached the next city, Li Luochun's mental power sensed 3 more powerful spirit energy fluctuations. Why are the King priests, the master and second masters here? I didn't tell Zuir about this. I wanted to give them a surprise. Li Luochun sensed the presence of the 3 familiar priests. You're serious, Xiaoli? Granduncles here? And 6th and 7th grandpas? What are they doing here? Aren't we the only 3 people who know about this? Yu Xianshan was also confused. Then, looking at Li Luochun, a sudden thought occurred to him, and a smile like an ant appeared on his face. Oh my, it seems our spirit hall's little princess is worried about someone. Tisk tisk tisk, she went out without even telling me what she was going to do, like a heartless man, Yu Xianshan joked. Li Luochun was furious. Yu Xianshan was good in every way except that he had a big mouth. You're not much better. How long have you been living here, eating and drinking for free? Why aren't you going back to your wife? My wife's just not in Shrek City right now. Ling Yuan is guarding Xiaozu, but she's off on another mission with the demon bear and ghost leopard. By the way, after this incident, I'm going to take Ma Hongjin on some training. He's almost a soul king, so it's time he learns some bird-like combat techniques. I should pass on my own 9 styles of the blue into him. Don't worry about me keeping him away for long. He'll be back before the Soul Master competition, and then I'll give you a surprise. Yu Xianshan was already Ma Hongjin's master, at Li Luochun's behest. He couldn't teach Ma Hongjin bird-like attacks, but although Yu Xianshan was wind-attributed, he could teach much more. The latest novels are released on the 6th-9th book bar. He even surpassed King Li's understanding of bird-like spirits. He had long had his eye on Ma Hongjin, determined to make him a Zuinio sect's chief disciple. Furthermore, Yu Xianshan had invited Flanders to become the Zuinio sect's honorary grand elder. To bring all the birds of the land under the Zuinio sect was Yu Xianshan's dream. Alright. There's still a little over a year left. He's already a high-ranking Soul Sect member. Bring me back at least a Soul Emperor next year. Li Luochun smiled wickedly. Yu Xianshan was a wealthy man. Perhaps he had a top-grade soul bone suitable for Ma Hongjin. Get lost. How can someone level up more than 10 times in a year? At most, he'll be a mid-rank soul king. Yu Xianshan was speechless. Of course it's possible. Once Hongjin reaches level 50, take him to the undying volcano in the Star Dou Great Forest and try your luck. There shouldn't be a shortage of fire-attributed treasures there, but don't take them all. I have 2 fire-attributed masters here. By the way, how did you convince Hongjin back then? Li Luochun was curious about how Yu Xianshan had persuaded Ma Hongjin. A 100,000-year spirit ring and spirit bone, plus a suitable 80,000-year-old right arm bone. Yu Xianshan waved his hand and said, "Get lost, rich man." Chapter 167 Haoshan Douluo. According to the Spirit Hall's intelligence, Yu Xiaogang left Soto City alone. Tang San and Xiao Wu, in a 3-way partnership, obtained the Gold Fighting Spirit Badge. They are currently resting in Soto City, Tang San working at a blacksmith shop, while Xiao Wu accompanies him. Based on Tang San and Xiao Wu's movements, Tang Hao's location can be inferred. After all, Tang Hao will undoubtedly be around to protect Tang San and Xiao Wu, the 100,000-year-old soft-bone rabbit. If Li Luochen and Yu Xianshang's presence enters Soto City, Tang Hao will undoubtedly detect them, allowing them to locate their presence. As for the attendants behind them, they can be left alone, it's sufficient for them to remain silent. In the back, old poisonous creature, why are you stopping us? The young lady instructed us to protect Xiao Chenzi, the demon subduing Douluo questioned. Haha, seventh priest, Xiao Chen doesn't need protection. He needs to review his training this time. Besides, don't you know his current strength? Or do you think you can defeat this little monster in a one-on-one fight? Douluo chuckled. He knew Li Luochen's strength well. He had sparred with him after he became a soul Douluo. Li Luochen was incredibly powerful. His staff's power was astonishing, he didn't dare to take it head-on. Moreover, Li Luochen had his own unique skills. Thinking of that dangerous aura, Douluo felt terrified. Why was his comprehension so strong? The priests pondered for a moment. Li Luochen really didn't need their concern. With his 4 black and 4 red spirit rings and fully equipped spirit bones, the thought of him was terrifying. Never mind, since we're here, let's go see what he's up to. I have a feeling this kid's going to surprise us again. Qianjin Douluo decided to follow. The 4 super Douluos followed Li Luochen and Yu Xianshang, concealing their auras. This time, they were there to provide covert protection. Haha, finally finished. Phew. Now my hidden weapon collection is complete, Tang San said, looking at the pile of hidden weapons before him. There were various needles for manual manipulation, as well as mechanical weapons like this huge divine crossbow. Brother, finally finished. Is there a piece for me? Xiao Wu had been bored these past few days. Tang San was too busy blacksmithing to go shopping with her. Having finally completed Yu Xiaogang's training, he had a month's vacation, but Tang San had been busy blacksmithing instead of playing with her. Of course, Xiao Wu, these are my new hidden weapons. I'll teach you how to use them later, Tang San said with a smile. Xiao Wu had been accompanying him every day these days, and Tang San felt deeply warmed. After Yu Xiaogang's training, both Tang San and Xiao Wu had reached level 35 in spirit power. Even though Tang San's 3 spirit rings were not compatible with blue-silver grass, he continued to cultivate rapidly, relying on the advantages of the mysterious heavenly art. However, once he reached level 50, he would understand the consequences of blindly absorbing spirit rings. Tang San and Xiao Wu's heartwarming moment was unrelated. Not far from the blacksmith shop stood a bar. Inside, a slovenly man in a black robe was drinking when he suddenly sensed something. He had been drinking one moment, gone the next, leaving a gold soul coin on the table. Outside Soto City, Xiao Li, do you think Tang Hao is really here? I don't believe it, but I found something interesting. Yu Xianshang and Li Luochen had just flown over Soto City, their presence undisguised, allowing Tang Hao to sense it. Of course he'll be here. I've sensed it. He'll be here soon. Old Yu, let's do this. I'll start yelling until he's red hot, and you'll go out and toy with him. Play with him, trample him, make him furious, and when he loses his mind, leave it to me. Oh, and just a reminder, if his spirit ring explodes, you must dodge it. Don't take it head-on. Li Luochen laid out his plan. Yu Xiansheng didn't quite understand, but he followed it. After all, Li Luochen wouldn't trick him. He knew about the Great Sumeru Hammer, but had never seen one before. He had to be careful not to overturn. A moment later, a middle-aged man in a black robe suddenly appeared. He looked to be in his late 50s, but he was very tall and muscular. However, his attire was rather unflattering, his robe was torn and not even patched. Tang Hao immediately released his martial spirit rings upon seeing the newcomer. 2 yellow, 2 purple, 4 black, and 1 red, the perfect 9 spirit ring configurations emerged. He exuded the aura of a level 95 super Douluo. What brings you here? Tang Hao said, sincerely not wanting to fight. After being injured by Douluo last time, he had forced himself to use the rings, and his health had deteriorated. There was still some toxin in his system, and he could only exert the strength of an ordinary title Douluo. However, his prestige remained, and his presence should be enough to intimidate other title Douluos. He could sense that the spirit power of the Qingyu title Douluo was not high. The young man beside him looked familiar, but he couldn't place him. His spirit power fluctuated at the level of a soul Douluo. Tang Hao did want to kill Li Luochen, but he hadn't seen him often, and he had never seen his face, so he didn't recognize him. Haha, The proud battle soul hammer, the mighty Haoshan sect, the heir of what was once the world's foremost sect, yet this is the fate of the one who brought them here? Tisk, 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 how unforgiving. Why didn't the Haoshan sect take you back? Are they all cowards? Li Yusong started his tirade right away. The latest novels are released on the 6th 9-book bar. Watch your words, kid. The Haoshan sect may be secluded, but you can't insult them. Hearing the Haoshan sect being criticized, he immediately exploded. Oh my, did I hit a sore spot? It's true. Ever since Tang Chen disappeared, the Haoshan sect has been like a coward. Even when the Spirit Hall attacked them, they abandoned the 4 single attribute clans, admitted their mistakes, and then closed their gates. What do you call the world's #1 sect? I think they're the world's #1 cowards. Hearing these taunts, Tang Hao burst into laughter. Ha 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 ha, it seems I'm really too low-key. The Haoshan sect is too low-key. Now even a Soul Douluo level jerk dares to mock the world's #1 sect. What a pity, my Haoshan hammer can't kill a jerk like you? Ho ha ho ha, Tang Hao roared with laughter, clutching the Haoshan hammer. Tang Hao, are you crazy? Are you laughing like crazy? What he said is really funny. Even you're laughing? It seems the Haoshan sect isn't just cowards and reckless, they're also psychos. Yu Xianshan couldn't understand why Tang Hao was laughing. Even after being scolded like that? Is Tang Hao sure they'll win? If that's the case, then die. Tang Hao unleashed a powerful hammer. Tisk, 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 savage. Fighting when you can't argue, and even a sneak attack. True to the Clear Sky Sect style. 4th soul skill, Emerald Demonic Wind and Jade Waves, Yu Xianshang unleashed his 4th soul skill, unleashing multiple wind pillars that sent the Clear Sky hammer flying. Simultaneously, Yu Xianshang's martial spirit possessed him, revealing a configuration of 2 yellow, 2 purple, 4 black, and 1 red soul rings. While seemingly identical to Tang Hao's, Yu Xianshang's 8th soul ring was different. Tang Hao's was a pure, deep black, while Yu Xianshang's was a dark red. Approximately 6 parts black and 4 parts red, the age of Yu Xianshang's 8th soul ring indicated it was approximately 94,000 years old. Tang Hao was also very surprised. He didn't expect that this was not an ordinary title Douluo. He actually had a 100,000-year spirit ring like him. So he must have a 100,000-year spirit bone. If he could kill him and obtain the 100,000-year spirit bone from him, then Tang San's future would be very smooth. Chapter 168 Tang Hao. I'm on the morning shift. Tang Hao now wanted to kill and take his bones, but the young title Douluo opposite him also possessed a 100,000-year spirit ring. Had Tang Hao been in his prime, he would have felt this would be a piece of cake. Now, his condition was greatly reduced, and he could only attack at full strength 3 times before dying. Tang Hao had already planned his attack. First, he'd engage him briefly, then detonate his 6 spirit rings and deliver a fatal blow. Sir, are you going to make me your enemy? Tang Hao continued with his rambling, trying to appear weak and perhaps lull him into a trap. Ha 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 ha, when did Haoshan Douluo become so talkative? When he praised Kyank Sunji, he was so domineering. I've been granted the title, Wind God. Take it. Yu Xiansheng didn't intend to waste any more time and launched into action. He felt that this Haoshan Douluo was evolving rapidly. Yu Xiansheng's martial soul, the Emerald Demon Blue Luan, was activated. Unlike the Blue Luan of the Blue Luan Douluo, Yu Xiansheng's Emerald Demon Blue Luan had darker feathers and a more slender form, similar in color to the Emerald Demon bird. After Yu Xiansheng's spirit possessed him, the surrounding wind elements converged towards him. This was a title Douluo of ultimate attributes. In a fight, the surrounding elements would become his greatest ally. Tang Hao felt so pressured by the man before him. He was somewhat surprised. This man was clearly younger than he was, no more than 45, with a spirit power fluctuating around level 93. Tang Hao had once been the youngest title Douluo, breaking Jin Zunji's record, a title he himself was proud of. But now, the young man before him was even younger. Tang Hao, let me tell you something. I was 40 when I reached title Douluo. My 6th spirit skill, Blue Luan Sky Feathers, Roar of the Wind, Yu Xiansheng spread his wings, a wind-like aura rising to the sky. The Blue Luan's cry triggered a roar of wind elements, the sound waves powerful enough to split mountains and shatter the earth, simultaneously vibrating the target's spiritual sea. Oh no. 6th spirit skill, Clear Sky Body Protection. Tang Hao unleashed his 6th spirit skill, the Clear Sky Hammer, unleashing 4 shields. But that wasn't enough. Shields could only defend against physical attacks, while Yu Xianshang's spirit skill also had a spiritual impact. After Tang Hao unleashed his sixth spirit skill, a dazzling light flashed from his head. Using the power of his head spirit bone, Tang Hao blocked the psychic attack. From the moment they engaged, Tang Hao sensed that the titled Douluo before him was no ordinary figure, completely different from those he had faced before. He, Tang Hao, was able to break a titled Douluo's leg while still at the soul Douluo level. Even when the Spirit Hall dispatched 3 titled Douluos, one of whom was the Pope, Jin Zunji, Tang Hao remained undeterred. Jin Zunji himself was gravely injured, and the 2 titled Douluos he brought with him were also killed and seriously injured. Tang Hao's record was truly impressive. Not even his grandfather, Tang Chen, could match his abilities. Tang Hao could once have looked down upon all spirit masters, but the sacrifice of his wife, the Blue-Silver Emperor, brought him down. But his pride remained, and he wasn't just any small-time enemy to challenge. But now he had. Tisk, 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 is this all Tang Hao is capable of? Perhaps his injuries haven't healed yet? Oh, by the way, I remember you trying to cause trouble for a certain academy, but you got kicked out again. I wonder if you're still strong enough to put up a fight. Yu Xianshang's words were harsh and sarcastic, but his mental state remained at peak. I'm so angry. Tang Hao had never encountered such an opponent before, and he swung a sledgehammer at Yu Xianshang. Yu Xianshang's speed was so fast that Tang Hao's hammer couldn't hide him at all. Tang Hao's temper grew redder and redder as he fought. He had never faced such a slippery opponent. Don't you dare fight me head-on, Tang Hao roared. The Clear Sky Douluo isn't just weak in strength, he's also clueless. I'm a flying agility attack type, and I'm going head-on with you, a power attack type? Am I crazy? Or am I just as foolish as you? What a reckless man. Yu Xianshang was speechless. He had discovered during their initial exchange that the Clear Sky Hammer had powerful attack power, but lacked speed. Damn it, Tang Hao raged helplessly, but he was also thinking about how to deal with this enemy. This kind of opponent was a real problem. In the sky, the battle between the 2 titled Douluo affected Soto City, surprising the people there to see 2 titled Douluo fighting at full strength. Li Luochen unleashed his dragon wings and flew in to watch. It was a typical titled Douluo level battle, though neither side was using their full strength. Tang Hao was probably gathering his strength, already using his Chaos Cloak Hammer technique, while Yu Xianshang was just playing around. Li Luochen had a feeling Yu Xianshang would be defeated. The Clear Sky Hammer was indeed difficult to use against fast-flying spirit masters, but one of their 9 Clear Sky Supremas, the sealing technique, was specifically designed to counter flying. A flying spirit master would generally be at a disadvantage if sealed, as most flying spirit masters have low defense. Tang Hao was constantly swinging the Clear Sky Hammer, already stacking his Chaos Cloak Hammer technique to 63. He didn't need to stack it to 81, that would be too powerful and easily detected. When Yu Xianshang and Tang Hao clashed again, Tang Hao's Clear Sky Hammer changed its attack. 9 Clear Heaven Absolutes, Seal. The ghosts of the Clear Sky Hammer instantly restrained Yu Xianshang. Clear Sky Hammer, Chaos Cloak. Tang Hao's massive Clear Sky Hammer smashed directly at Yu Xianshang's body. The impact was immense, with Chaos Cloak already reaching 64 hammer strikes, a single blow rivaling the power of a level 96 warrior. Yu Xianshang remained unfazed. A vast mass of wind suddenly gathered around his torso, emanating from it. Hurricane Protect, the powerful wind, like a small hurricane, emanated from Yu Xianshang's body, deflecting Tang Hao's attack. Tang Hao, after being deflected, regained control and glanced at Yu Xianshang, startled. He realized the titled Douluo's defense was surprisingly strong. The lack of spirit rings must have been due to spirit bone abilities, and the abilities emanated from his torso, presumably the torso bones. Tang Hao found this opponent incredibly formidable. With the torso bones and such powerful abilities, it seemed the flying titled Douluo before him possessed no defensive flaws, no weaknesses at all. This opponent was a natural counter to his Clear Sky Hammer, but he wouldn't flee. As Clear Sky Douluo, how could he escape without a victory? 8th Soul Skill, Wind like a sword, slashing the sky. The Emerald Demon Blue Luan's wings vibrated violently, instantly compressing the surrounding air and forming a massive whirlwind. At the center of the whirlwind, a cyan blue blade of light condensed, as sharp as a physical blade. Under the Emerald Demon Blue Luan's control, the blade slashed towards its target like a sword in the whirlwind, swiftly tearing through the air. The instant the slash struck, a deep crack appeared in the air, like a slash through the sky, and the surrounding space seemed to be torn apart. Yu Xianshang unleashed dozens of wind blades, slashing towards Tang Hao's body. Martial Soul True Body. Lingshan Strike. Tang Hao roared, first using his Martial Soul True Body to unleash the true power of the Clear Sky Hammer, then using his 8th soul skill to continuously block the wind blades. Clank, clank. The collision of hammer and wind blade sent sparks flying. Tang Hao's hammer had to swing in a phantom fashion to barely block the wind blade, though it didn't do much damage. But Tang Hao's clothing was now in disarray. His black robe had been shredded by the wind blade, and even his clothes were cut into jagged pieces, leaving him looking like a homeless person. Ha 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 ha, Tang Hao, you've finally come to this. The latest novel is released on the 69th Book Forum. A hearty laugh echoed as Li Luochen slowly descended to the center of the battlefield. Who are you? Tang Hao's clothes were shabby, but his aura remained imposing, though with a hint of weakness. Who am I? Haven't you harbored murderous intent against me several times? How could you have forgotten? Li Luochen asked, unleashing his martial spirit. When Tang Hao saw the staff, he immediately knew who he was. If the Clear Sky sect had any enemies besides the Spirit Hall, it would be Li Luochen. Li Luochen's spirit had already surpassed the Clear Sky Hammer, jeopardizing its status as the world's foremost weapon spirit. As Clear Sky Dou, he should eliminate such a threat. So it's you, little bastard. Why haven't you seen that old freak Dugubo? Looks like you're here to hunt me today. Tang Hao realized this time, the brat had known about his existence for a long time. Tisk tisk tisk, of course not. I killed you myself this time. His Majesty the Wind God was just having fun with you, testing your skills, but he looks a little disappointed, Li Luochen said casually, completely dismissing Clear Sky Dou. Oh, by the way, Tang Hao, let me tell you something. Your wife's spirit bone is really useful, Li Luochen spoke, radiating the aura of the Blue-Silver Emperor's right leg bone. Tang Hao, possessing the Blue-Silver Emperor's spirit ring, instantly sensed the connection, his eyes turning red. So it was you, you little bastard, who did it? I want you dead, and not just you, but everyone in Shrek Academy dead too. Don't you have a girlfriend? When you die, I'm going to let her experience the sights of hell. Tang Hao lost his temper, and his words infuriated Li Luochen. He had been trying to irritate Tang Hao, but ended up being the one to infuriate him. Tang Hao, I'm going to go to school. You're a crippled wretch, a castaway from the Haotian sect, and you're showing off in front of me. I'm telling you, you don't have any soul bones, but you do have your life. I'm here to take your life today. I'm going to rip out your tongue and drink with it. Li Luochen was furious. His forbidden possessions were his 2 wives and the rest of his Shrek family, and Tang Hao had actually wanted to destroy them. So today, he was going to make him experience the sights of hell. Li Luochen's soul rings unleashed, black, 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 red, red, red. His killing god domain was unleashed, and as Li Luochen's accumulated murderous aura was unleashed, it evolved into the skill, Sure Hell. The strength in killing god domain pressed down on Tang Hao, and Li Luochen entered a combat state. This state was quite mysterious, akin to the domain merging with his own being. The combat state was when Li Luochen's fighting spirit reached its peak, boosting all attributes by 50%. As his fighting spirit rose, his combat power increased. In short, the more he fought, the stronger he became. Tang Hao was also surprised by Li Luochen's state. His killing god domain could be suppressed by this young man. This chapter will be updated first, and the second chapter will be updated this afternoon or evening. I need to think carefully about the fight scenes. After all, Tang Hao is very strong and can't be portrayed as weak. He has combat intelligence and can use all of the 9 clears of the Clear Sky. He can also use his trump card, the Great Sumeru Hammer, but Li Luochen will target Tang Hao with targeted attacks. Li Luochen's trump card skill, the Ring Fusion, is a cheat I gave him. As for how effective it is, it depends on how I write it. After beating Tang Hao, it's time to go to the Spirit Hall to get beaten. Later, Jin Ringsu returns to the Spirit Hall with a big belly. Bibi Dong sees this and falls into deep thought. She's in a terrible mood. And the little fox will fall in love with Li Luochen at first sight, which makes Bibi Dong even more angry. Some people say that this will become a stud novel. Of course not. The main story only features Jin Ringsu and Du Guyan. Zhu Huqing and Yi Lingling have a better relationship at most, and it's highly likely that they won't be attacked in the main story. But I will write a sequel. The God Realm sequel is purebred, meaning there's no regrets. After all, we've all retired in the God Realm, and we brought everything up here ourselves, so we'll keep it for the new year. Oh, and by the way, Li Luochen and Jin Ringsu's child is a boy, and he'll be paired with Liu Laner. Let's crowdfund the name. The boy can have either the surname Li or Jin. Du Yuyan will give birth to a daughter. Chapter 169 Clear Sky Hammer. Li Luochen, wielding the sky-lifting dragon pillar, smashed down on Tang Hao's head. Clang. The clash of clubs and hammers produced a tremendous impact, sending both the men reeling back. Li Luochen retreated 3 steps, while Tang Hao retreated more than 10. Tang Hao's hands were shaking, clearly having suffered a setback in the initial clash. He hadn't anticipated Li Luochen's immense power, which had cracked his knuckles. Furthermore, after Li Luochen's spirit was unleashed, Tang Hao felt a palpable sense of suppression, his clear sky hammer trembling. Spirit restraint. This was a serious topic. Spirit restraint was generally reserved for beast spirits, not weapon spirits. The clear sky hammer was a top-tier weapon spirit, and yet, unexpectedly, it was being restrained. Tang Hao was determined to kill Li Luochen today, even at the cost of his life, to secure the clear sky hammer's position as the world's #1 weapon spirit. Li Luochen, on his part, sheathed his spirit. From the previous clash, he had already gauged Tang Hao's strength. His clear sky hammer weighed 30,000 jin, or 15,000 kilograms, or 15 tons. Li Luochen wasn't sure if this weight was unique to Tang Hao, or if all 9 spirit rings of a clear sky hammer spirit master were of the same weight. When Li Luochen obtained his 7th spirit ring, his spirit had already reached 25 tons. After absorbing the Titanate spirit ring, its weight increased further, reaching 50 tons, or 50,000 kilograms. Considering the Sea God Trident weighs only 180,000 jin, or 54,000 kilograms. Furthermore, Li Luochen's spirit bones were highly equipped, especially the golden dragon torso bones, giving him a demigod-level physique and astonishing strength. Without using his ring explosion technique, Tang Hao is completely invulnerable. Clear Sky 9 Absolutes, Breaking Word Technique. After stabilizing himself, Tang Hao swung the massive clear sky hammer at Li Luochen. Titan Sky Cannon. Li Luochen charged his right arm and launched a powerful attack, sending a powerful surge of soul energy blasting towards the clear sky hammer. As a supremely powerful soul beast, the Titan Ape possessed incredibly potent soul bone abilities. Is this the Titan Ape from the Star Dou Great Forest? Looks like you hunted it. Great. Kill you, and your soul bone will be mine. Tang Hao swung the clear sky hammer, preparing to use the Chaos Cloak Hammer technique once again. Tang Hao's Chaos Cloak Hammer technique was far more powerful than anyone else's, even Tang Chen wasn't necessarily better than him in this technique. Li Luochen watched Tang Hao gather his strength, unfazed. 9981 was no big deal, he could break it. Tang Hao swung his hammer with swift speed, and in a moment, he had it ready. His hammer, like a coiled black dragon, was imposing, and he smashed it down directly at Li Luochen with 9981 blows. Li Luochen remained motionless, and Tang Hao internally laughed at this wretch, his lack of combat experience. He wasn't worth worrying about. Demon-breaking divine light. Li Luochen's had released a beam of azure light, shooting straight towards Tang Hao's head. Tang Hao suddenly felt as if his head had been struck by a sledgehammer. His head ached with a splitting headache. Blood rushed from all 7 orifices. Tang Hao, a tidal Douluo of strength, even with his head spirit bone and the experience of Hell Road, lacked exceptional mental strength. He was unaware of Li Luochen's mental attacks, unable to withstand them. Boom. The Black Dragon's 9981 hammer strikes missed, and Li Luochen dodged them by simply taking a few steps to the right. Clear sky hammer? That's it. Li Luochen felt his suspicions were correct. The clear sky hammer was too slow. A simple, nimble kite would surely destroy him. Furthermore, a common flaw among clear sky hammer spirit masters is a lack of mental strength. Tang Hao, already the most outstanding disciple of the Clear Sky sect, couldn't handle it, so wouldn't the rest of the Clear Sky sect be even worse? Tang Hao's head split with pain, but as a tidal Douluo, his body was already formidable, so he naturally heard Li Luochen's sarcasm. Evil creature. How dare you insult our sect? Go to hell. 9 absolutes of clear sky. Tang Hao unleashed his spiritual avatar, then followed it with the 9 absolutes of clear sky. Li Luochen wasn't about to let him down, So he unleashed his spiritual avatar as well, using his own 6 combat styles to counter the 9 absolutes. Dozens of rounds went by, Li Luochun's fighting spirit growing stronger and stronger, while Tang Hao's stamina and condition declined rapidly. His body couldn't withstand such intense combat, and his 9 absolutes of clear sky were useless. He had already been struck 3 times by Li Luochun, each one severely wounding him, displacing his internal organs. If it weren't for his fully equipped spirit bones and the powerful vitality of the 100,000 years blue-silver emperor, he would have been beaten to death by Li Luochun. Is this all clear sky Douluo has? If that's all you have, then go to hell, you're wasting my time. Li Luochun felt that fighting the crippled Tang Hao was too boring, and he hadn't anticipated his own strength. Damn it. Ring Explosion, the latest novel is being released on the 69th book forum. Tang Hao, enraged, didn't care about anything else. Eliminating the enemy was the key. As long as Li Luochun was dead, it would be Tang San's turn. They didn't understand the value of twin spirits. Tang San would definitely avenge him, but it was a pity he couldn't see it. He also witnessed the resurrection of the blue-silver emperor and wanted to pave the way for his son. Clear Sky Hammer. All 9 rings explode. Tang Hao instantly blew away all 9 spirit rings, his aura instantly soaring to the 98th level. Is it finally here? Great Sumeru Hammer, Ring Explosion. Then I'll do it too. Li Luochun unleashed his spirit, the sky-supporting divine dragon pillar, and the 5th and 6th spirit rings began to fuse, revealing 2 of Li Luochun's most powerful attributes, light and darkness. Normally, the relationship between light and darkness is worse than fire and water, but under Li Luochun's manipulation, the attributes of light and darkness were gradually merging. Beads of sweat covered Li Luochun's forehead. Fusing the 2 spirit rings of light and darkness took a heavy toll on his mental energy. But Tang Hao's simultaneous 9-ring explosion forced him to take notice, and he naturally responded with one of his most powerful moves. Light and darkness coexist, yin and yang coexist, the moon and the sun, who is stronger? Yin and yang work together, and the world reigns supreme. Chaos opens the heavens and the earth. The sky-supporting divine dragon pillar in Li Luochun's hand transformed into chaos, more like a pillar of chaos supporting the sky. Its aura was deep and dangerous. Meanwhile, Tang Hao's clear sky hammer, with its 9 rings exploding simultaneously, had grown immense, but still small compared to the pillar of chaos. From afar, the 4 super Douluos watched the 2 clash. Is this still my disciple? Is this still a staff technique? Brother, what a monster have we taught us? The demon subduing Douluo was stunned. Li Luochun's power was beyond his imagination. He, the former wave, had been crushed to the shore. Qianjin Douluo was also deeply shocked, yet equally delighted. It was a joyous occasion for a disciple to surpass their master. Douluo hadn't expected Li Luochun's fusion ring to be so powerful, and King Li Douluo was once again thankful for his young master's good judgment. On the battlefield, the sky-supporting chaos pillar collided with the immense clear sky hammer. A mushroom cloud slowly rose. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 170 Luochen wins, Haotian falls. Boom. A mushroom cloud rose. Yushian Sheng, closest to the battlefield, activated his spirit avatar for defense. He hadn't expected Li Luochun to be so powerful. Moreover, without his spirit bone technique to defend against Tang Hao's attack, he would have been dead. Yushian Shang understood why Jin's Unji had been defeated by Tang Hao. That ring explosion was truly unjust. In the center of the battlefield, despite the mushroom cloud, the chaos pillar shattered when it struck the clear sky hammer. In reality, both sides were equally powerful. However, Li Luochun's spirit, the sky-supporting divine dragon pillar, was a divine-level weapon spirit, while the clear sky hammer was merely a top-tier weapon spirit. Tang Hao, at only level 95, had limited understanding of the clear sky hammer. Therefore, Li Luochun prevailed at the spirit level, and the balance of power in the battle remained firmly in his favor. The clear sky hammer shattered, and Tang Hao suffered severe backlash from the ring explosion, the broken spirit, and the aftermath of the explosion. Tang Hao was left in a state of disarray. His entire body was covered in horrific wounds, not a single spot intact. Li Luochun landed calmly on the ground, looking down at the recumbent Haoshan Douluo. Haoshan Douluo, your time is over. As the victor, I'll take your head, Li Luochen said coldly. Ahem. As the loser, I know what would happen to me. I never imagined a monster like you would appear in the Spirit Master world, and I'd let you grow. I should have killed you back in Soto City. I truly regret it. Tang Hao's face was ashen, his last breath hanging on. Is that your last words? Time to go. Li Luochen chopped off Tang Hao's head with a kick. White murderous aura emanated from Tang Hao's body, absorbed by Li Luochen's killing god domain. Li Luochen's murderous aura grew again, pure and unparalleled, even more than when he left the Slaughter City. It seemed Tang Hao had killed far more people than he, Li Luochen. Li Luochen's god of death domain evolved directly to its highest level, unlocking the Shura god appearance skill. This allowed him to communicate with the Shura god at any time and summon his projection. Of course, this required the Shura god's consent. If he had a personal matter, he might not project. Li Luochen then stripped Tang Hao's spirit bones. They were all top grade, and Tang Hao possessed a full complement of 6. Among them were an 85,000-year-old right arm bone and a 75,000-year-old left leg bone, inherited from the Haoshan sect and imbued with immense power. The remaining 4 spirit bones were an 80,000-year-old torso bone, likely dropped from Tang Hao's 8th spirit ring, a 50,000-year-old head bone, and a 50,000-year-old right leg bone. The only younger one was the left arm bone. This left arm bone was only 20,000 years old, but its energy level was no less than that of the right arm bone. Li Luochen knew it when his right arm resonated with a left arm bone. This is the left arm bone of a 20,000-year-old Titan ape. It's said that Tang Hao killed a Titan ape, so it must be this one, definitely not Erming, as it's 100,000 years old. Tang Hao certainly couldn't defeat it during his Soul Douluo stage. He had already retired during his Title Douluo stage, completely different from Erming's timeline. Therefore, the Titan ape Tang Hao defeated was a 20,000-year-old one. This 20,000-year-old Titan ape left arm bone is destined for Old Zhao. Old Zhao's left arm bone is only an 8,000-year-old Qianjian ant. Let's exchange it for him. A level 95 Title Douluo with a full complement of 10,000-year soul bones should be able to fight for it. Besides the right arm and left leg bones, 2 are inherited soul bones from the Haoshan sect. Don't rush to distribute them. Let's show some courtesy to Jinringsu first. After all, I killed her father's murderer, and she will definitely reward me. As for the remaining 3 soul bones, give the torso bone to Flanders and save the other 2 for a rainy day. Li Luochen retrieved Tang Hao's corpse, producing an empty storage soul guide. He believed the corpse could be used to further his cause, allowing him to declare war on the Haoshan sect. Li Luochen personally believed that since they were enemies, they should be exterminated. Regardless of the fact that all the Haoshan sect members were innocent, Li Luochen had already eliminated Tang Hao, and now he would eliminate Tang Chen. This sect was a complete enemy, and since they were enemies, there was no room for mercy. After all, the Haoshan sect had always considered the Spirit Hall an enemy, and they dreamed of destroying it. What contributions had the Haoshan sect made to the Spirit Master world, or even the continent at large? Back then, the Haoshan sect had been remarkably tolerant of bullying. They'd beaten the weak, only to be followed by the strong. Ugh, disgusting. They had utterly corrupted the Spirit Master world. After the Haoshan sect was forced into seclusion by the Spirit Hall, the major sects and clans were able to breathe a sigh of relief, and countless clans in the Spirit Hall had also breathed a sigh of relief. It's over? Little Li, you're stronger than me now. Sigh, I'm really shocked. I thought my talent was only slightly inferior to yours, but I didn't expect it to be so much. Each generation surpasses the last. Yu Xianshang approached Li Luochen and suddenly felt a surge of emotion. Old Yu, what are you lamenting about? A monster like me only appears once every few thousand years. There's no need to compare yourself to me. You're already very strong. You'll probably reach the extreme even younger than Tang Chen. Keep going. I'm counting on you. Maybe you can even break through the 100th level and become a god. That's something even Tang Chen and the High Priest can't achieve, Li Luochen consoled Yu Xianshang. After all, Yu Xianshang's talent was truly exceptional. At 40, his cultivation of the extreme wind wouldn't be slow. The extreme attribute was a gift for the extreme. Yu Xianshang truly had the potential to reach the 100th level. He might not be able to reach the first level of a god, but the second level would definitely be a possibility. then I'll take your good words. That's right. I won't compete with a non-human like you. After thousands of years, this is the only thing that's come out. It's so damaging to my liver. The latest novel is published on the 69th book bar. What do you mean, after thousands of years, this is the only thing that's come out? What do you mean? Can you even speak? No, you're nothing, I'm nothing. Old you, let me see if I'm going to cut you down. The title Douluo in the distance were so shocked they didn't want to talk. Quick, kill Tang Hao. They might not be able to stop Tang Hao in a one-on-one duel. Li Luochen killed Tang Hao head-on. The gap was quite big. Forget it, I won't compete with this little guy. Comparing with him is annoying. The three priests returned directly to Jinringsu to report on Li Luochen's situation, while Du Yubo returned to his own herbal medicine shop to continue tending to his flowers. Outside Soto City, Tang San and Xiao Wu had already run a long way. They had already fled the moment they sensed a tidal Douluo level battle was underway. The aftermath of a battle of that magnitude could easily have wiped them out, so they had to run. They ran for dozens of miles before taking a break. Tang San suddenly felt a palpitation in his heart, as if something had been lost. Xiao Wu also noticed something was amiss and ran over to calm him down. Tang San didn't know what had happened, so his priority was to find Yu Xiagang in Xiandao City. Elsewhere, after Li Luochen had killed Tang Hao, he thought of the Blue-Silver Emperor. He planned to transplant it to the yin-yang eye of ice and fire, if for no other reason than that the plant was quite beautiful. It would be a shame to kill it, but if he could just mentally control it, perhaps something interesting would happen when they faced Tang Xiao. Li Luochen felt really bad. He'd seen the Blue-Silver Emperor's face before, when he'd absorbed its right leg bone. Blue hair, and a striking beauty. He could have been a star fury, or rather, a bed warmer. As expected, even in this other world, Prime Minister Cao's ambitions remained. I never imagined alcohol and sex would have led me to such a state of depravity. From today on, I'll quit drinking. After transplanting the Blue-Silver Emperor, Li Luochen's next priority was training the Shrek Academy team. After all, Bi Bidong would be giving away 3 10,000-year soul bones, so why not? As a half-dragon, all mine is mine. Li Luochen coveted any good he could find. He possessed a strong collecting urge. Li Luochen's reasons for eliminating Tang Hao were, first, because he posed too much of a threat, and second, because of Tang Hao's soul bone, a fully equipped 10,000-year soul bone. Collecting them brought a profound sense of accomplishment. Chapter 171 Transplanting Yin. Li Luochen arrived at the waterfall again. On the way, Yu Xianshang had gone somewhere else to play, leaving him alone. He leaped into the waterfall. Within the dark cavern, the Blue-Silver Emperor remained, swaying from side to side, startled by Li Luochen's presence and trembling. Without a word, Li Luochen plucked the Blue-Silver Emperor away, took this oil from the yin-yang eye of ice and fire, and repotted it. He then rewarded the Blue-Silver Emperor with 2 drops of his blood. Li Luochen's blood not only possessed the medicinal properties of the ice and fire celestial grass and other immortal herbs, but also bolstered the vitality and blood, a powerful tonic. Just 2 drops elevated the Blue-Silver Emperor to the 100-year stage. Thanks to these 2 drops, the Blue-Silver Emperor's aversion to Li Luochen faded, becoming more friendly, its vines entwined around his arm. Li Luochen unfurled his dragon wings and flew off to Sunset Forest. He transplanted the Blue-Silver Emperor into the yin-yang eye of ice and fire. It should be revived in about a decade. Elsewhere, in Shrek City, what? Chen killed Tang Hao. Jinringsu was shocked. She knew Li Luochen's trips would lead to something significant, but she hadn't expected something this serious. After all, her father had been defeated by Tang Hao and subsequently died. Yes, we all saw it. That last move of Li Luochen's, even I couldn't stop it. King Li Douluo was also impressed by Li Luochen's strength. He had assumed it was simply a matter of rapid training and good luck, but it turned out to be even more powerful in combat. Third Grandpa, please tell me the details of this battle, Jinringsu said. Du Yuyan, beside her, was also surprised. Clear Sky Douluo was defeated by her own man? Clear Sky Douluo had suppressed the prodigy of an entire era. King Li Douluo recounted the details. Li Luochen had dominated Tang Hao the entire time. Although Tang Hao was severely injured, fellow title Douluo Yu Xianshang could only tease him, not yet fully dominate him. Of course, Yu Xianshang wasn't serious, he was simply teasing Tang Hao. After hearing this, Jinringsu smiled faintly. She finally understood. Li Luochen was avenging her. After all, it was her father's murderer, and he was doing this for her. Jin Ringsu caressed her belly with a hand, a motherly smile radiating as she muttered, "My child, your father is a formidable warrior. I'm so happy. Your father has avenged me. How can I reward him?" Du Yan, on the other hand, looked disappointed. She hadn't gotten pregnant. She hadn't taken advantage of so many opportunities before, and now she wanted one, but it wasn't. However, Du Yan decided that it would be best if she didn't have children for the time being. Jin Ringsu is pregnant and needs care. If she gets pregnant again, it would be too much trouble. Let's wait until Jin Ringsu gives birth. As the eldest sister, she should take good care of her younger sister. During her time in Shrek City, Jin Ringsu's health has been cared for by Du Yan. Du Yan has a good understanding of Jin Ringsu's constitution. Jin Ringsu is in excellent health and is prone to fertility. Because Li Luochen and Jin Ringsu both have high bloodlines, Du Yan's pregnancy-supporting decoctions are all top-grade treasures. Since Jin Ringsu has the divine attribute of light, the treasures Du Yan uses are all of this attribute, and secondly, those with life attributes, to help support the pregnancy. Fortunately, Jin Ringsu has a soul power of level 80, making her no weakling. Her body is strong enough, so Du Yan doesn't have to worry too much. At least for now, Jin Ringsu and the child are doing well. Moreover, due to her strict dietary requirements, which consisted of highly nutritious foods and natural treasures, Jin Ringsu had gained weight noticeably, but only in the right places. Du Yan particularly liked Jin Ringsu's skin, which was smooth and delicate. Du Yan lived a fulfilling life every day. Du Yan would tease Jin Ringsu from time to time. When Li Luochen was cultivating the Blue-Silver Emperor, he was unaware of the development of his two wives. Li Luochen was currently at the yin-yang eye of ice and fire, which was now being well taken care of by Dugubo. It would take some time for the immortal herbs to grow, but the natural treasures were in constant supply. The pregnancy-maintaining medicine Du Yan gave to Jin Ringsu was all picked by her personally here, so it was absolutely fresh and would not lose its efficacy. "Grandpa, this is the Blue-Silver Emperor, the king of blue-silver grasses, and also Tang Hao's wife. She was sacrificed to Tang Hao back then, and I brought it here for her. Plant it here so it'll be useful in the future," Li Luochen explained to Dugubo, giving him a heads up so the old man wouldn't get startled by the Blue-Silver Emperor's words. "Got it, you just order me around. Oh, and that little girl from the Jin family is pregnant. Yan'an's taking care of her. As a man, why don't you go back and check on them?" "Okay, I'll be back soon. Goodbye, Grandpa." Li Luochen left immediately. He hadn't seen his wife in days, and he missed her dearly. Soon, Li Luochen returned to Shrek City and arrived at his own courtyard. As he was about to open the door to enter, he heard a voice. "The latest novel is now available on the 6th book bar. Du Yan. I'm warning you, don't touch me." "Oh, what are you afraid of? Get lost, you purple loach, how dare you bully me like this? Things change over time, don't bully a poor girl." "Hey, you yellow-haired duck, you, don't come over here." Li Luochen flung the door open, and what he saw was truly unbearable, and pleasing to the eye. "But Jin Ringsu, why didn't you resist?" "Ahem, you guys keep going, I haven't been here." Li Luochen had to pretend. Although he really wanted to see it, it was really interesting, but unfortunately he didn't have a camera to record it. Du Yan stopped playing around with Jin Ringsu and came over to hug Li Luochen, her arms draped around his neck like a sloth. Li Luochen was a little over 2 meters tall, Du Yan was 1.78 meters tall, and Jin Ringsu was 1.80 meters tall. Du Yan was hanging like a sloth. Jin Ringsu was still rather reserved, wanting to hang around like Du Yan, but her pride refused. How could a dignified Jin Ringsu do such a childish thing? Li Luochen, knowing Jin Ringsu's character, came over and picked her up. Jin Ringsu felt a sweet sensation after being picked up. Since it was Chen who lifted me up, I should be magnanimous and obey him. Chapter 172 Soul Bone. Li Luochen spent a few moments cuddling with his two young wives. He then carried them to the table, placed them on a stool, and went to the kitchen to prepare some snacks. A good man needs to be a jack of all trades. Skill points don't need to be high, just enough is enough. For example, Li Luochen's cooking skills, while not top-notch, were still a breeze for him to whip up a meal. Before even reaching the restaurant, Li Luochen had already prepared 2 or 3 plates of snacks. After all, he was at home, so he decided to get something to eat before discussing business. It didn't take long for Li Luochen to finish: a plate of fruit, a plate of pastries, and a plate of dried meat. Afterward, Li Luochen prepared 3 drinks. Jin Ringsu couldn't drink because she was pregnant, and she didn't like it either. Du Yuyan didn't like drinking either, and Li Luochen, on the other hand, was trying to quit drinking. Afterward, the 3 of them sat at the dining table, savoring the snacks. Li Luochen took 2 bites, then took out 6 soul bones and placed them on the table. Zuier, this is Tang Hao's entire body of soul bones. This soul guide contains Tang Hao's corpse. Please give it to His Holiness the Pope, and we will digest these soul bones, Li Luochen said as he handed a soul guide to Jin Ringsu. As for the soul bones, Li Luochen also gave Jin Ringsu the Haotian sect's inherited soul bone. This item held symbolic significance. The Haotian sect had 3 inherited soul bones, each over 70,000 years old. 2 of them were in Tang Hao's possession, holding great significance. As for the remaining 4 soul bones, Li Luochen would distribute them himself. He had already decided on their distribution. The torso bone would go to Flanders, the Titanape's left arm bone to Zhao Wuji, the right leg bone to Liu Erlong, and the head soul bone to Qin Ming. Giving these soul bones away to strengthen their own people was the best way. Jin Ringsu collected the Haotian sect's inherited soul bone. After all, this matter was indeed quite significant, and she needed to show it to her grandfather. However, he certainly didn't need it, so she could return it to Li Luochen later. For the next period, Li Luochen and his 2 young wives enjoyed the best of life. With 3 days left on the Shrek team's holiday, Dun Flender and his team returned. This time, Flender and Zhao Wuji led the team to help Liu Erlong and Qin Ming obtain spirit rings. Liu Erlong reached level 82, while Qin Ming reached a staggering level 75. This was due to Qin Ming absorbing a spirit ring from a 60,000-year-old Flame Wolf King, and combining the power of 2 spirit bones to reach level 74. Unexpectedly, the Flame Wolf King had dropped a right leg bone, which Qin Ming naturally absorbed and reached level 75. Li Luochen then distributed the spirit bones to the various teachers and seniors. Flender absorbed the torso bone, reaching level 89, Liu Erlong absorbed a right leg bone, reaching level 83, and Zhao Wuji replaced his left arm bone, maintaining his spirit power, but only pushing his level 87 even further. Thus, Shrek Academy now had 1 Super Douluo and 10 Soul Douluos. Li Luochen's grandfather, Li Yusong, had also reached level 80, though he remained in seclusion. It was unavoidable that the old man had wasted so much time in his youth that even with access to top-tier resources, reaching title Douluo was still a challenge. Even if old Li achieved title Douluo, Li Luochen had found him a 100,000-year spirit ring. His ultimate limit would likely be around level 95, given his weak foundation, which Li Luochen had managed to reach using rare treasures and spirit bones. Later, Li Luochen distributed 4 9th-grade purple Ganoderma pills to 3 teachers and 1 senior to help them overcome their bottlenecks. With 3 days remaining before the Shrek team assembled, everyone had already returned to Shrek Academy, save for Ma Hongjin, who was taken away by Yu Xianxiang for training, and Ning Rongrong. A day later, old Li emerged from seclusion, having not only reached level 80 but also mastered Li Luochen's own staff technique, significantly increasing his strength. Since Li Luochen planned to personally lead his grandfather on the spirit ring hunt and might be late, he enlisted Qin Ming to help him train the Shrek team. Qin Ming's level 75 strength was more than enough to tame these geniuses. Moreover, Li Luochen had already summarized the key points for each person's training and handed the booklet containing the content to Qin Ming. To prevent the team members from getting injured during training, Li Luochen specifically pulled Yang Wudi out of the team's training schedule. During this time, he personally oversaw the Shrek team's physical well-being and provided them with medicinal baths. Of course, the condition was that Yang Wudi accompany Du Gubo to the Yin Yang Eye for a month to refine medicine. Yang Wudi longed to visit the Yin Yang Eye again, as the environment there was exceptional. Du Gubo had taken him there once before. Yang Wudi was truly captivated there. It was a holy land for alchemists. Thanks to the Yin Yang Eye soil, Yang Wudi cultivated numerous rare treasures. Thanks to these treasures, his and Nia Gao's soul power increased significantly, reaching level 86 and Yang Wudi's 84. Nia Gao and Yang Wudi had already settled in Shrek City, each having built their own mansion, becoming the city's first residents. Li Luochen would not give up on these 2 clans. The Po clan's alchemy skills were truly remarkable, and Shrek Academy students used their medicinal baths. Even with their dedicated training, they remain free of hidden injuries. The Yu clan, while skilled in construction and highly sought after, needed contracts. They had, by chance, secured a large order that would sustain them for 100 years. Nia Gao, also impressed by the quality of Shrek Academy's teaching, sent all his clansmen to study there, and some to the Shrek Guards to protect Shrek City. It could be said that Shrek City was no longer in limbo, it was thriving. Once Flanders reached title Douluo, Shrek Academy's status would be even higher. After all, no dean of a high-level Spirit Master Academy had yet reached title Douluo rank, most were soul sages and soul Daoluos. After handing over his command to Qin Ming, Li Luochen took his grandfather, Li Yusong, to the Qingdao Great Forest. There, he had discovered a 70,080,000-year-old golden crocodile dragon, a perfect match for Li Yusong's spirit ring. Old Li now possessed a 50,000-year-old golden python head spirit bone, a 10,000-year-old golden python left arm bone, an 80,000-year-old golden python right leg bone, and a 90,000-year-old golden unicorn dragon right arm bone. All Old Li needed was a left leg bone and a torso bone to complete his spirit bone complement. He possessed 4 sub-dragon spirit bones of golden bloodline, a truly formidable feat. Li Luochen had dedicated countless resources to Old Li's advancement. After all, it was his only blood relative in the world. About 7 days later, Li Luochen located the 75,000-year-old golden crocodile dragon. After a fierce battle, Li Luochen broke all 4 of its legs and shattered its mouth. The latest novel is now available on the 69th book bar. Finally, Grandpa Li Yusong put an end to it. Li Yusong spent 3 days absorbing all the spirit rings. However, Li Luochen felt like he had finally become a European king. Previously, it was Douluo who dropped spirit bones. Li Luochen felt that Douluo had exceptional luck, with a high chance of receiving spirit bones, while he himself had been unlucky. Now, this 75,000-year-old golden crocodile dragon has dropped a left leg bone, which is just the right size for Li Yusong. This way, Li Luochen can search the sea for sub-dragon sea spirit beasts and arrange a 100,000-year spirit ring for his grandfather. Then, due to the peculiarities of the 100,000-year-old spirit beast, Li Yusong will eventually gain a torso bone. This way, Li Yusong has a chance of reaching level 96. After absorbing the spirit rings and spirit bones, Li Yusong's spirit power reached level 85. Having absorbed 3 golden-blooded sub-dragon spirit bones over 70,000 years old, he achieved a significant improvement. After Li Luochen sent Li Yusong to Shrek City, he returned to the Star Dou Great Forest, this time intending to explore the undying volcano. He discovered an 83,000-year-old fire spirit sacred beast in the southwest corner of the undying volcano, which could serve as Qin Ming's 8th spirit ring. Deeper into the undying volcano, Li Luochen discovered 3 100,000-year-old spirit beasts, one of which was a hellhound king, a perfect match for Qin Ming. He promised to help him hunt it down. Li Luochen was very optimistic about Qin Ming's talent, and before leaving, he gave him a head spirit bone, a spirit bone dropped by Tang Hao. It was over 50,000 years old, approximately 62,000 to 63,000 years old, making it a top-grade spirit bone. After absorbing the head spirit bone and the elixir, Qin Ming reached the peak of level 76, and he could break through to level 77 in about a month. With his talent, he can break through to the title Douluo before the age of 45. In order to make him break through faster, Li Luochen came to the undying volcano to look for some natural treasures with fire attributes. Li Luochen actually found such a fairy herb, the fiery fire spirit flower. After taking it, there is a chance to obtain the ultimate fire attribute. Li Luochen took away this fairy herb. He planned to let Douluo refine it into 2 pills, one for Qin Ming and one for Ma Hongjin. With the help of these resources, Qin Ming should be able to break through to Soul Douluo soon, and then he can hunt down the fire spirit holy beast. Li Luochen now feels that training masters of Shrek Academy is a very meaningful thing. Chapter 173 Wandering Around, Back to Shrek. After touring the immortal volcano in the Star Dou Great Forest, Li Luochen ventured out to the sea to take a look. He remembered that during his travels across the continent, Douluo had discovered 200,000-year-old sub-dragon spirit beasts in a coastal city of the Heaven Dou Empire. One was the Sea Thunder demonic flood dragon, and the other was the deep sea titan python. Both were extremely powerful sea spirit beasts. Li Luochen decided to check it out. He was already late anyway, so a little later wouldn't hurt. He could prepare spirit rings and spirit bones for his grandfather, not bad at all. Old Li was only 5 levels away from breaking through to title Douluo, so he needed to work harder. However, this white, yellow, and purple spirit ring was too eye-catching. Sending Old Li to Sea God Island might help increase the age of his spirit ring. Li Luochen quickly reached the 2 sea spirit beasts' territory. He figured he'd leave one for Liu Erlong and one for his grandfather, since there were plenty of sea spirit beasts anyway. The 2 sea soul beasts weren't particularly powerful, roughly equivalent to level 94 title Douluo. However, thanks to their natural geographical advantage in the sea, they could unleash the power of a level 96. After inspecting them, Li Luochen prepared to return. Having tested them, he had a firm grasp on the strength of the 2 sea soul beasts and could make his escape. Suddenly, a pair of massive claws appeared, clutching at Li Luochen. Get out! Li Luochen summoned the sky-bearing divine dragon pillar to block this sudden attack. Li Luochen's gaze fixed on the incoming creature, revealing it to be a massive bird over 40 meters tall, its silver feathers razor-sharp. Sea green divine eagle? 100,000-year-old soul beast? Trying to imitate our human sneak attacks, humph. Too bad it didn't work, human. How dare you come and disrupt our retreat? Prepare to die? The sea green eagle's voice echoed, and then the 200,000-year-old sea soul beasts emerged from the sea, simultaneously locking onto Li Luochen's form, seemingly intent on capturing him. Haha, you can't keep me here. Li Luochen immediately used his ring fusion, this time fusing his first and second soul rings. The wind fueled the fire. Li Luochen unleashed a whirlwind of flames. To increase the power, he unleashed several massive whirlwinds. 300,000-year-old soul beasts were pinned down by the whirlwinds. Li Luochen immediately unleashed his dragon wing soul bone and flew away with all his might. It wasn't that he couldn't defeat them, but these 300,000-year-old beasts couldn't be wasted. Flender would soon be titled Douluo. This sea blue divine eagle was a perfect match. Oh my. I just gave Flender an 80,000-year-old torso bone. Damn, I feel like I missed out. Flender missed out on a 100,000-year-old soul bone. However, Liu Laner is almost 4 years old and will soon awaken her martial spirit. Then this 100,000-year-old soul bone might just be hers. Given the tempers of Dean Flender and Master Liu Erlong, they'll definitely give their child the best. Li Luochen quickly left. He could come back later. Next time would be the time to deal with these 100,000-year soul beasts. Li Luochen left at top speed and returned to Shrek Academy. 300,000-year soul beasts, freed from the whirlwind of flames, roared at the sky. Damn humans. Meanwhile, Li Luochen had been away from Shrek Academy for over 10 days. All the Shrek team members had arrived, with only Ma Hongjin out training with Yu Xianshang. Even Ning Rongrong had returned on time. However, Li Luochen wasn't there, having gone out to help the teacher with soul hunting. The students were somewhat discouraged, but they still hoped Li Luochen would come train them. The teacher who arrived this time was a veteran Shrek alumnus, Qin Ming. Qin Ming was a 7th-ringed soul saint, 34 years old, and his strength was almost surpassing that of several of the teachers. The students were thrilled to see this senior. After all, besides Li Luochen, he was the 3rd most powerful Shrek graduate. Li Luochen had also left a training manual for Qin Ming, and he trained everyone according to it. Qin Ming was usually affable, like the older brother next door, but during training, he was fierce, demanding everything and forbidding any slacking off. On the first day of training, everyone collapsed in exhaustion, so Qin Ming personally took them back to the dormitory and placed them in a medicinal bath. Of course, the girls were assisted by Du Yuyan and Jin Ringsu. After all, Jin Ringsu was just nursing her pregnancy, so taking a stroll each day was a good opportunity to watch the Shrek team practice and lend a hand. She knew a lot about the Continental Elite Spirit Master competition. The Pope had personally awarded 3 spirit bones to nurture the Spirit Hall's golden generation. However, she had a feeling the Spirit Hall team would suffer a crushing defeat. The Shrek team was almost entirely Spirit Masters, 12 in total. Ma Hongjin, Oscar, Yi Lingling, Yang Wu, Niu Dun, and Dai Mubei were all Spirit Masters, while Zhu Xiuqing, Ning Rongrong, and Tai Long were all level 39, about to become Spirit Masters. These days, the Shrek team members have been experiencing both joy and sorrow. Their strength is steadily improving, and Zhu Xiuqing and Ningrongrong, both at level 39, are showing signs of breakthroughs. With a full year of training remaining, Shrek Academy is under immense pressure. This is their first Soul Master competition, and they need to make a name for themselves. Flanders originally considered letting Li Luochen and Du Yuyan compete, as they were both within the competition age range. However, their strength was too far-fetched, two Soul Daoluos popping up in a competition typically reserved for Soul Masters. This wasn't a good idea, Li Luochen felt, and thought it would be pointless to bully the weaker players. It would be better to cultivate their own team, some of which could be from powerful factions, others from those who have achieved divine status. This time, the Shrek Academy team is led by Li Luochen, with Qin Ming as their deputy. The team members are Oscar, Ma Hongjin, Ningrongrong, Zhu Xiuqing, Yi Lingling, Yang Wu, Niu Dun, Daimyu Bei, Tailong, Jingling, Wang Yuan, and Jiang Zhu. The preliminaries and elimination rounds were easy to navigate, the only obstacle was the finals. Today, while the Shrek team members were training, a figure suddenly descended rapidly from the sky. The latest novels are released on the 69th book bar. Boom. A superhero-style landing. Li Luochen landed perfectly, though he ruined the prime ground. But that's no big deal, being cool is a lifelong skill. Didn't you see Du Yuyan and Jin Ringsu standing by, their eyes filled with love? It was obvious they were captivated by his charisma. Wow, Director Li makes a dashing entrance, Ningrongrong said first. After all, she's a little witch, so quick-witted. Everyone else nodded, and Daimyu Bei, still training, suddenly glanced at Zhu Xiuqing. He noticed something strange in the way she looked at Li Luochen, a look filled with deep emotion. Daimyu Bei could only chuckle bitterly. He was undoubtedly no match for Li Luochen. Li Luochen was only 3 years older than him, yet his realm was 3 great realms higher. He was completely outmatched. Family background? He didn't care. Daimyu Bei was only temporarily residing in Xiandao. He knew most of Li Luochen's deeds in the Star Luo Empire. His family couldn't do anything to him. This Soul Master competition was a battle for the throne. He was competing against Davis. At best, he could survive this competition. Even if he was lucky enough to become emperor, Li Luochen would surely become a titled Daoluo. How could he possibly defeat Li Luochen? But Shrek Academy's strength was too great for the Star Luo Empire to handle, unless a million-strong Star Luo army arrived, which was impossible. Powerful figures like Li Luochen could easily descend upon the palace and kill the emperor. Well, he'd just have to take it one day at a time. Daimyu Bei had been feeling anxious these past few days. After all, the training was exhausting. Tonight, he planned to relax. As for Zhu Xiuqing? He didn't care. He felt Li Luochen must be interested in Zhu Xiuqing. He must have given her something potent, bringing her soul power close to his. A woman with Zhu Xiuqing's figure was undoubtedly attractive. Li Luochen's 2 women were each more beautiful than the other, especially the blonde, the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. Daimyu Bei would just take a look. At most, he'd go to a place like that and find a blonde. Rumor has it that a blonde is a soul sage, with a 7th soul ring 100,000 years old. He wouldn't dare mess with her. Daimyu Bei's only concern now was survival. Revenge for his wife's theft. Surviving was easier said than done. Besides, he and Zhu Xiuqing had no romantic connection. Even if there had been some, he would have abandoned her anyway. This was Daimyu Bei's monologue. As for the others, they were striving to become stronger. After all, this was an opportunity to bring honor to Shrek Academy, even if Director Li had given it to them. Li Luochen observed the students before him. Each one had made significant progress. Ningrongrong's fair arms felt strong. Yi Lingling's eyes grew more resolute, and Zhu Xiuqing's aura grew more tranquil. Both were very good, showing significant progress. You've done a great job. I'm very satisfied. Chapter 174. The anus is here again, but the legs are broken. You've done well, I'm very pleased, Li Luochen said with a smile. They had all made great progress, and now it was time to diligently cultivate. Ningrongrong and Zhu Xiuqing would probably reach level 40 in the next 2 months, and by the time of the Soul Master competition, they should be Soul Masters at level 45 or 46. Oscar, on the other hand, could reach Soul King in just over 6 months. At that time, Li Luochen would take Oscar to the frozen forest to hunt the mirror shadow beast. Originally, Oscar had intended to acquire a silver Ying beast's 5th soul ring, but Li Luochen couldn't find one in the Star Dou Great Forest. However, There was a 20,000-year-old mirror shadow beast that Oscar could absorb. The mirror shadow beast would greatly enhance Oscar's abilities, and it would also allow Ningrongrong and Yulingling to acquire the abilities of combat soul masters. During this time, Ningrongrong and Yulingling had not only been cultivating their soul power and physical strength, but also their combat abilities, all with the help of the soul masters from their team. Qin Ming didn't understand Li Luochen's training, but he must have his reasons. Li Luochen wanted Oscar to obtain the mirror image sausage, which would allow him to achieve the ultimate surprise. After all, the Soul Master competition targets backline supports. So, just as a Spirit Master was about to cut through the backline became a power attack type. Haha, this was really interesting. Next, Li Luochen personally led them in training, which meant daily high-intensity training, pushing their bodies to their limits. Of course, this training had its drawbacks, including potential hidden injuries. But with Yang Wudi around, he prepared herbal baths tailored to each individual's constitution, and the results were remarkable. After a day of exhausting training, they could fall asleep in the bath and wake up fresh and energetic the next day. For example, the hidden injuries inflicted by Li Luochen on Dai Mubei were significantly repaired by the bath, and he should be fully recovered in about 6 months. But Li Luochen didn't want to bother with him anymore. Dai Mubei was now just a lapdog, diligently training every day to impress him. Essentially, spare me my life, and I'll be your slave. Li Luochen had no interest in Dai Mubei's existence. After all, he was leaving him to Zhu Xiuqing, who would deal with him later. After about a month of training, Li Luochen suddenly received news that Yu Xiaon, Tang San, and Xiao Wu had arrived in Shrek City. However, outside the city, they pleaded with Flender to rescue them, considering their past friendship. Li Luochen went to investigate and eventually learned that Yu Xiaon had originally intended to take Tang San and Xiao Wu to his nephew, Yu Xianheng, and enroll them in the Heaven Dao Imperial Academy. However, Tai Long happened to be visiting his family. Tai Long, who had just reached level 40, was preparing to seek his grandfather's help in obtaining his 4th spirit ring. Tai Long had no resources and no whale glue. His improvement was achieved through intense training and medicinal baths. Tai Long took a fancy to Xiao Wu, but was brutally beaten by Tang San. Later, Tai Long's father, the powerful King Tenno, sought revenge, but was also defeated by Tang San with a hidden weapon. This ultimately led to the pursuit of the Titans. Seeing the situation dire, Yu Xiaon quickly brought Tang San and the others to Shrek City to seek Flender's help. After all, Flender was also a Soul Daluo, and the Titans would likely give him some respect. Shrek City Gate. A middle-aged man with a plain, stiff face was accompanied by a young boy and girl, the young girl being strikingly beautiful. At the gates of Shrek City stood 2 blonde men, followed by a small group of guards. These 2 men were the Tiger brothers, Dai Xiangxing and Dai Xiannian. Level 88 and 86 Soul Daluos, respectively, they were immensely powerful. Their current lives were comfortable, their sole responsibility being to ensure the Shrek City gates were not breached. Other security issues fell to the guards, who would only be called upon for major incidents. Originally, a great soul master like Yu Xiaogang wouldn't have needed their intervention, it was just a whim. After a day of slacking off, it was time to get down to business. Both of them could achieve title Daluo status within 5 years. Dai Xiangxing was lucky, having obtained 3 soul bones after leaving the Slaughter City. Dai Xiannian had also gained soul bones by torturing the Star Luo Queen to gain access to the treasury. Dai Xiangxing possessed 5 soul bones, missing only the torso bone. Dai Xiannian had already completed his 10,000-year soul bone. Even their mother, Dai Xianling, was a soul Daluo, possessing 4 soul bones. Thanks to Dai Xiannian, they now lived a comfortable life. Dai Xianling was already in her 70s, but she maintained herself well, looking like a beautiful woman in her late 40s. Dai Xianling also had a good talent for cultivation. Thanks to Dai Xiannian's gift of his mother's soul bone, Dai Xianling's soul power surged after absorbing it, and her cultivation speed also increased. Previously, only soul emperors could reach the level of soul Daluo, and perhaps she could even strive for title Daluo status in her lifetime. Back at the gates of Shrek City, Yu Xiaogang was shuffling between the two. Due to their unknown origins, they were not allowed into Shrek City. Whether they were allowed depended on their mood. This great soul master acted like a millionaire, and they were displeased and deliberately making things difficult for him. Gentlemen, I wonder when Dean Flender will be able to come out? I'm an acquaintance of his, and this is urgent. Yuzaon couldn't wait any longer, furious that the Shrek City guards had no sense at all for refusing to let him in. You can't enter Shrek City without an invitation. Who knows what you're doing there? The law enforcement team has already notified Dean Flender, but I don't know if he'll come, Dai Xianun said casually, completely ignoring Yuzaon. I'm your dean's friend, how dare you treat me like this? Yuzaon pointed directly at Dai Xianun's nose. I'll definitely tell Flender, and let you. Gulp. Something had caused Yuzaon to suddenly interrupt and swallow. It turned out that Dai Xianun and Dai Xiangxing had released their spirit rings, 2 yellow, 2 purple, and 4 black, a perfect 8 spirit ring configuration for a soul Douluo. Yuzaon was stunned. Who could have imagined 2 soul Douluos working as security guards? I'll give you another chance to form your words, big brother. Why are you wasting time talking to him? A great spirit master shows no respect for the powerful? Break his leg. Crack. Dai Xiangxing kicked Yuzaon's left leg in half, then slapped him, sending him sprawling into the ground. Hiss. How shameless. That slap only made his face swell? Sure enough, the rumors back then were true. The latest novels released on the 6th 9-book forum. Dai Xiangxing sighed. He knew Yuzaon's reputation, the laughingstock of the spirit master world. Tang San didn't dare to attack at this point. He, a soul master, was no match for his foes, but the brothers weren't already on his kill list, destined for death? What's going on? Tianxing, Tianyuan, did you two fight with someone? Li Luochen and Flanders suddenly arrived at the door, just in time to see Dai Tianxing and Dai Tianyuan releasing their spirit rings. We disposed of a piece of trash, it's in the dirt, Dai Tianxing said, pointing at Yuzaon, who lay unconscious in the ground. Isn't that Yuzaon? How come she's so close to the earth after not seeing her for months? Li Luochen said with a smile, then spotted Tang San and Xiao Wu. He had no idea why they were there, but it didn't matter. This 100,000-year-old soft-bone rabbit had actually come. He, the spirit rings and spirit bones he'd obtained couldn't get away. Law enforcement team, take this piece of trash. No, take this second young master of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family, in. Tang San, Xiao Wu, you two should go in too. Li Luochen instructed the law enforcement team to proceed. Yes, the law enforcement team immediately grabbed Yuzaon's legs and walked in. No need. I'll take the teacher and myself. Tang San stopped the law enforcement team and carried Yuzaon inside himself. Dai Xiangxing and Dai Xianun were speechless, then looked at Flanders. Old Flanders, is this really your friend? Dai Xiangxing asked. He used to be, but I've seen through his true colors, Flanders said with a wave of his hand. I remember you, this FW, and Vice Dean Liu Erlong were known as the Golden Triangle. Did something happen? Dai Xianun asked. Well, there's no need to dwell on the past. Just know he's a fame seeker. He has no talent, but he's incredibly vain. He's especially good at tricking women. Flanders was furious with Yuzaon. He was already enjoying a happy family life with Liu Erlong, yet she dared to come after him? Have you any sense? Give me some face. Are you planning to start a dyeing business? When Yuzaon wakes up this time, Flanders will clearly tell her not to come to him. They're no longer friends. Furthermore, Yuzaon is a vicious person. He's terrified she'll harm him and Liu Erlong's daughter, so he thinks he should just get the hell out of her. This kind of person should not appear again. Chapter 175, Hercules? Just a wimp. The Tiger brothers suspected the three of them had a story, but they felt it was inconvenient to ask, so the matter was left unresolved. A short while later, a powerful presence suddenly arrived, a vast and overbearing presence. It was definitely not a friend. Dai Xiangxing stepped forward. It was a job, a chance to shine. Li Luochen was their family's benefactor, not only helping them reunite but also giving them such an easy job. It was a perfect opportunity. It was a job, a chance to shine. While the work was certainly good and easy, it was sometimes too boring. Dai Xiangxing was a combative man, usually sparring with his eldest brother and occasionally with Zhao Wuji. Although Zhao Wuji couldn't defeat him, both were powerful attackers, and the fight was quite enjoyable. The arrival was a white-haired old man who suddenly descended from the sky, his short hair standing up like steel needles. He was a towering figure, his eyes piercing. He stood like a majestic mountain, unmoved, exuding an air of authority without even anger. The old man appeared incredibly formidable, a man of vigor and energy despite his age. Where's Tang San? Any man who bullies my power clan, no matter where he goes, I'll capture him. Hurry and take care of Tang San before I cause a scene at Shrek Academy. This man was Titan, the patriarch of the power clan. He arrived with such a swagger, knowing that the Shrek Academy's dean was a powerful soul Douluo. But what if he was a soul Douluo of his generation? He was certainly inferior to him. Nicknamed Hercules, his strength surpassed even that of a title Douluo, and he was confident he could hold his own against even a mere title Douluo. Hey, old man, who do you think you are? You dare to come and cause trouble in Shrek City? Dai Xiangxing was displeased. The leader had come for an inspection, and yet someone was causing trouble? He was truly provoking the emperor. Titan, known for his explosive temper, flew into rage when he heard the man before him disregard his words. So what? A mere watchdog has the right to speak to me? Let your dean speak to me, Hercules Titan. Titan folded his arms, summoning his spirit, the powerful ape. 8 spirit rings, 2 yellow, 2 purple, and 4 black, emerged, surging with 86th level soul power and pressing forward. Dai Xiangxing. Old fellow, you're so bold, and your mouth is foul. Big brother, leave this old fellow to me. Let me see how much you're capable of. You dare to run wild in Shrek City? Dai Xiangxing was furious, possessing his spirit, the demonic pattern blood tiger. 2 yellow, 2 purple, and 4 black spirit rings emerged. 88th level soul power overwhelmed Titan's soul power. What? A soul Douluo? With more soul power than mine, Titan was also shocked. He hadn't expected this kid to be so much stronger than him. He had just humiliated him. It seemed that this couldn't be settled peacefully. Titan attacked first, hoping to catch Dai Xiangxing off guard. He possessed the powerful ape and punched Dai Xiangxing with all his might. Bang! Dai Xiangxing's tiger claws met Titan's fists, and the collision of fists and palms produced a resounding sound. Old man? With that much strength, you still dare to call yourself a Hercules? Dai Xiangxing's mouth curled. Is this all Titan's strength? Come again. Titan directly used his spirit form. Facing such a formidable opponent, he had to give it his all. Titan was a pure power-based spirit master, and all his spirit rings were imbued with a single strength attribute. To achieve this, each spirit ring he acquired must be from the same type of spirit beast. Finding that same spirit beast when acquiring spirit rings one by one would be exponentially more difficult. The greatest drawback of Titan's single attribute spirit rings was their limited ability. Facing different opponents, they were much less adaptable than ordinary spirit masters, excelling in only one aspect. The greatest advantage of pursuing a single attribute and specializing in one's own strength was the ability to maximize that single attribute. With a level 86 spirit power, Titan's strength was rarely surpassed, even among title Douluo. However, his opponent was Dai Xiangxing, who also possessed a pure power spirit. While his mighty gorilla was only a high-level spirit, Dai Xiangxing's demonic pattern blood tiger was a mutated white tiger spirit, a top-tier spirit. Furthermore, while Dai Xiangxing's development was balanced, his spirit rings differed from Titan's in age. Titan's 8th spirit ring was a 30,000-year-old 1,000-ton ant. I found this on Baidu, so let's just assume, while Dai Xiangxing's was an 80,000-year-old white-eyed demonic tiger king. Furthermore, Titan had no spirit bones, while Dai Xiangxing possessed 5 spirit bones over 10,000 years old, including one in his right arm that was 80,000 years old. Even if Titan continued to cultivate in a single direction, his strength would be no match for Dai Xiangxing's. He was completely overwhelmed by Dai Xiangxing and stood no chance of victory. Seeing Titan's spirit form, Dai Xiangxing also took matters into his own hands. At the gates of Shrek City, a 10-meter-tall mighty gorilla battled a 10-meter-tall, 20-meter-long, white-furred, blood-patterned tiger. The demonic-marked blood tiger completely crushed the mighty ape, overwhelming it in strength and leaving it even more vulnerable in agility and speed. The mighty ape was toyed by the demonic-marked blood tiger like a toy, his wounds mounting. 8th soul skill, foolish hurricane fist. As the demonic-marked blood tiger's eyes turned white, a layer of azure light enveloped its body, dramatically increasing its speed. The light then converged, and its right hand unleashed a hurricane-rising dragon fist. 8th soul skill, mighty thousand-jun fist. The mighty ape's right fist radiated an orange-yellow glow, striking the demonic-marked blood tiger. The latest novels are now available on the 6ix9ine book forum. Boom! The two fists collided, the azure light crushing the orange light, scattering the mighty ape. Titan then made contact with his spirit form. Titan knelt on the ground, his face pale, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. 2 ribs and his right arm were broken. He had been looking for trouble, but he'd ended up getting beaten. Tisk, 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 tisk. I didn't even try hard, and you're already down? Hercules? You're just a wimp. Dai Xiangxing connected with his spirit's true form, crossing his arms across his chest. This fight was exhilarating, this punching bag was interesting. You. PFFT, Titan spat out blood again in anger. Not long after, Tai Long and Tian Yuo arrived, utterly distraught at the sight of their grandfather being beaten so badly. Tai Long, your grandfather came to Shrek Academy to cause trouble. Considering your contributions to the academy, I'll spare his life for now. Get out of here, Flanders' voice rang out, unleashing his 89th level spirit power, once again shocking Titan. He hadn't expected him to be the weakling. Tian Yuo and Tai Long carried Titan back. He had come in fine, but left in a state of misery. Li Luochen had relayed Flanders' words to him. After all, Flanders was the dean, the one in charge, and he needed to be given some respect. Dear Dean, please abdicate. I think I need this position. Because Dai Xiangxing performed so well this time, Li Luochen decided to give him a raise. Of course, this raise was to help him hunt for his 9th spirit ring. There weren't many old tiger-like spirit beasts in the Star Dou Great Forest, and Li Luochen hadn't found any over 90,000 years old. He'd need to search carefully to find anything. Li Luochen still held Dai Xiangxing in higher regard. After all, he was a man who had independently developed his own domain. With a successful 9th spirit ring, becoming a super Douluo was a no-brainer. After all, once Li Luochen and his group ascended, the peak power would be lost, and Dai Xiangxing's strength would be needed. Kinming would need help in the future. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.